Illustrator Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. Live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
The Monday edition. The No Wildy, No Problem edition.
I don't know about that.
Okay, well, might have been a little bold of me. The Matt Schneidman edition. Tausch's favorite Packers writer for The Athletic. Scheduled to appear at 10:15.
Yeah, I don't think Wildy writes for The Athletic, but that's another story.
Maybe another Packers special guest scheduled to appear a little bit later in the show. Stay tuned to find out about that one. On Wilde and Tausch, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, the ESPN app, Wisconsin On Demand, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. In the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison, my name's Jesse Nelson, usually the producer of this fine program. Today, I slide over into the host chair alongside the Packers Hall of Famer, Old T, Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. Happy Monday. You ready for a fun week with me here driving the boat?
Well, it's off to a roaring start. We have no headphones, but we'll persevere. We'll get this figured out. I always think, Jason works hard. We give him a lot of grief, but he works hard. So I'm glad he's getting, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know if he's going to leave his basement, but I actually we had a tournament in Sussex this weekend.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, beautiful area. And one of the coaches is Jason's boss at The Athletic.
Wow.
And he said, he was very complimentary of Jason. And I said, well, that's great. You should call in, but Wildy's off. And he said, well, yeah, he doesn't really do much for us anymore. So...
yeah, that's awkward.
Yeah, it was. Well, I think it's with football season starting up. But a couple of things. You're an umpire guru. We had a good tournament.
Yes.
The tournament was fine. They went down to one ump for one game, which I don't like. I think you should always have two umps.
Was the one ump behind the plate?
He was.
Okay,
So
that's at least important. You got to be behind the plate.
I don't know. How are you going to ever get a call right on like a steal to second base?
You give it your best look. Get in position. Don't be moving. Can't be moving while you're making the call. Get out as close as you can and make the call.
But what if you just stand behind the catcher?
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
And the other part was the ump rang one of our kids up a full 3 seconds after the pitch crossed home plate. I don't think you should do that. 3 seconons.
That's a long time.
And he said, well,
to
he
wait.
threw a curveball and I didn't see it. And honestly, all I ever want is the ump just to shoot straight with me. There'll always be disagreements whenever you're umping or you're doing it. And I try not to be like Johnny ump guy.
Oh, no. Did you get into it?
No, I did not. I said, 3 seconds a long time, Blue. And he said, yeah, I got fooled on that one. So I appreciate that.
He's honest.
I didn't like
that before.
The call still wasn't good, but I appreciated the conversation. So we had a good weekend. All in all, I think one thing, we had a graduation party on Saturday, and when I sent this over,
congrats to the grad.
Yeah, it was fun. It went late, and there was a big gusty, stormy, windy deal. Do you need it when you show up and you see somebody that you know? Is there a time limit that you need to kind of set to say, all right, I can't really leave the minute so-and-so shows up? Or is it, I have to leave, I need to go, I'm going to leave, even though you almost kind of feel like you take it personal when someone leaves 2 seconds after you show up?
I mean, so you're showing up, I might be confused about the scenario here. Give it to me one more time. So you're showing up, and then other people are leaving instantly, or you're the
It's
one
not
leaving?
instant.
What?
No, I guess the question, the part that's always interesting is people have a lot of stuff going on, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So the party ends at 7. We got there at 8:30. In full
Okay,
disclosure.
well, that's late, yeah.
Then you get there, and I think there's always that, how if your girlfriend or your wife wants to leave and you want to stay, what the right angle is going to be to actually get out of there. And I have now come to the conclusion I do not mind when people do Irish exits.
Okay.
And the old Irish exit is, I'm just leaving. I'm not going to say goodbye. I'll text you or talk to you the next day or two, because I don't know if this is just a Midwestern thing, but we call it threshold paralysis, where you kind of feel like you can't leave. You feel guilty if you're going to leave. So I am now going to advocate the deuces be policy and just say, I'm going to go. And you don't even have to tell anybody, you just leave. And I don't think that's going to be viewed as rude.
You're officially in for Irish goodbyes. That is your official policy now for any party that you attend. So you went to this party on Saturday. You show up an hour and a half after it was scheduled to end. And were you in the group that just left without saying goodbye?
No, we were the last ones. We were the last ones.
So you were the last ones
we were
holding
the last
it down.
ones there, yeah.
So did everyone else Irish goodbye while you were saying hi to the graduate and
so
the parents?
there was one couple that kind of left 2 minutes after we got there, and they kind of snuck out. And then that does make you wonder, man, maybe they just wanted to. But again, I think the timing of it, the fact that they had probably been there 3 or 4 hours, I just think that we, especially in the Midwest, it is really difficult for us to leave within any decent time frame. And Sarah's the worst at this. She will sit back, and I'll say, all right, I'm leaving. We're leaving. And I'll just say goodbye and go. But I think I got to go say bye to so-and-so, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. And eventually then it's 15 or 20 minutes, and I'd rather just leave. So there's the balancing act. So I think from now on, I think you set a 5-minute window, and you say, all right, it's 9:05, 9:10, the car's leaving. You can come with me or you don't. I think that's going to be my new philosophy.
Want to hear from you on the text line, the ESPN Wisconsin Talking text line, 844-770-3776. Jesse Nelson, Mark Tauscher today, Jason on assignment. For full disclosure, we are experiencing a couple of technical difficulties in our studio here this morning.
We're fighting through.
Tausch alluded to. So if you call, we may have a tough time being able to hear you. So would prefer, at least for the time being, a text would be the best way to get into the show, 844-770-3776. Are you on board with the Irish goodbye policy that Tausch is now implementing for parties that he attends?
I mean, do you just leave? You guys, do you and Becca have issues when you're leaving parties?
I think it's IPT to leave without saying goodbye in any way. I think you need to acknowledge that you're going to be leaving. But I think that could be as simple as a wave goodbye to the hosts as you're like walking out the door. Like just some kind of nod, acknowledgement. Like especially a graduation party is a great example where they're definitely going to be occupied hosting, upwards of, it could be, and grad parties come and go. There could be 12 people there. There could be 40 people there. So they're going to be running around, talking to people, catching up with grandma and grandpa and aunt and uncle who they don't get to see too often. The kids are going to be doing their own thing kind of on the side, playing volleyball or whatever.
I saw one of the rock star moves, though, of the parents of this graduate. And I'm not going to put names out there. They did keg stands with their kids.
Whoa.
Yeah. I would not do that. I give mass credit to the mom and dad for doing keg stands with their kids' friends. Again, I'm too big. I'm not doing keg stands anymore. But they did knock out the keg stands, and that was kind of the pinnacle of the party. And we did get there for that.
So the texts are already starting to roll in. Joe in Manitowoc, becoming one of my favorite texters on the ESPN Wisconsin Talking text line.
Is he taking over Coonan's spot?
He's running these.
Let me tell you something.
Joe texts more than anybody.
I just want to let Matt Coonan know he is always going to be the GOAT texter, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, how about Joe in Manitowoc? Oh, I would love to be there when you tell your wife that I'm just leaving. can you make it extra special and say that in front of everyone? That would be great.
Yeah, no, I would.
Just sitting at the table,
the issue is
talking
if you're,
to Bob and Phil, I'm leaving.
Here's the problem. If you're 45 minutes or more away, you're screwed. But if it's a 15-minute ride, again, I'm not going to just leave my wife and kids behind. That I'm not going to do. But there is that at some point, the threshold of 15 minutes becomes a half an hour and then 45 minutes. And I think we have, again, I don't want to stereotype, but from a Midwestern, geographize it, I guess I'd say, we have a really hard time leaving. I think people have a really hard time to leave events, parties, whatnot, in a semi-smooth fashion. It's not a crisis. It's not some monster issue, but it's definitely something that I think we struggle with. And it doesn't need to be a struggle. It can be easier, and I think we can come up with a solution. I don't know what it is, because, I'm not going to get in my car. Then what am I going to do, sit in my car and just wait? I'd rather sit at the table and wait. But there has to be some succinctness to our exits. And the problem also is typically somebody's drinking, somebody's not, so that they can drive. And then it's usually the person that is drinking that is going to stay back because you're going to be blah, 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 blah. And that's where I think we have the two battles that go on.
So I think the ideal scenario, we got a lot of great texts coming in. We'll get through some of these here in just a little bit. 844-770-3776. Off and running on a Monday on Wilde and Tausch. Love it. I think when you're at a bar or if you're out, that's the time where I have done the Irish goodbye, or as Ryan in Madison says, the mystery dip.
Yeah.
the alternative of the Irish goodbye.
I wonder if Irish goodbye, now you can't really say it. Is that frowned upon? I don't even know what that is.
The mystery dip, where you mysteriously dip out of whatever you're doing. The mystery dip. I like that. Ryan in Madison, thanks for the text. 844-770-3776. I like doing it if you're with a big group at a bar or a concert. Like, we were up north over the weekend. We didn't get over to the bar on Saturday night, although we had considered it. But I've done this move at that bar where it's like walking distance from our cabin up north. If everybody's having a good time at the bar and you're just kind of like, I'm exhausted, long day in the sun, big winnings at the meat raffle earlier today. Like, it's getting to be.
Did I not win the last time I gave you money for a meat raffle? Did I not win the second one?
I don't think we ever did a second one.
No, I did. And I don't even know if you went up north. I think you got to give me my $20 back.
We'll have to launch an investigation.
So what, did you win this weekend?
We ended up not getting over to. It was a beautiful day in the sun, so we decided to stay in the water all afternoon. We didn't get over to the meat raffle on Saturday afternoon up north. But what I will say is, when you're at the bar, and if everybody's having a good time and everyone's kind of doing their own thing, getting out on the dance floor, if there's a DJ, whatever the case may be, very easy to do the mystery dip when you're out at that bar. And you just be like, okay, you know what? My time to go. Everybody's having fun. Maybe go up to one person, give a quick handshake. This would be the move for parties, I think, that you'd be looking for. Like on Saturday. Now, tough because you're the last one there. But if there are other people still in attendance at the party, while the host is talking to someone else, just walk up and be like, hey, man, we got to get out of here. Good to see you. And then he goes, oh, yeah, you too. Take care. And then he gets back to his conversation.
Are you good at picking up signs that people want you to leave? Like, to me, the lights going out is a good sign to leave.
Cleaning up is always, even when you're at a bar, like, they start putting the stools up on some of the tables, it's time to, don't be ordering anymore if they're starting to put the stools up on the tables.
Interesting question, though. Let's say that your buddy is the dad, and the wife is cleaning up, but the dad is smoking stogies and drinking bourbon.
Ooh.
Do you then acquiesce because you know that the wife wants people out, but the husband, who you hang out with a lot, you're going to stay back and do that, even though the blinds are getting drawn and you're doing all this other stuff? Does that change the approach on when you leave?
It does. That's definitely a mixed message, mixed signal
kind of
moment.
But you roll with your boy, right?
Here's what you do. You offer up an alternative off-site. You say, sure you do.
Up an alternative
Absolutely
off-site.
You do. Like,
at midnight?
It looks like
we're not 25. We're almost 50 years old.
It looks, Tyler and Caitlin. Hey, it looks like Caitlin's getting tired, wants to get to bed. Baby's down.
Butter up, Buttercup.
You want to walk down the block? Let's hit one over at the old.
No, I'm not walking down.
Whatever
the block. No,
that's a you problem.
No, I think
that's a viable
if
solution.
If she wants to go to bed, she can go to bed. And if eventually...
You can't go to bed if the boys are downstairs playing poker and, like, getting crazy and yelling and hooting and hollering.
No, I'll say if I was to stay... Now, the fact that both would go and clean, then that's when you know it's time to go. But if it's just one, I don't have a problem staying. I'll stay till 3.
I am fascinated by this, and the texts are rolling in. Can't wait to hear from you. 844-770-3776. What is your protocol for saying goodbye and departing a party, which Tausch had a hard time doing on Saturday evening? Is that fair? Was it different because you were the last ones there, that it was tough to get out?
No, I mean, I think it's fascinating to me to watch human interactions. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. And I typically, if I want to leave, I'm going to go. If I want to stay, that's when you start kind of going through the minefields. And if the folks' parents are still up, I know you're good. It's when the parents go to bed, and then you can start kind of sensing, might be time to go. And I'll be honest, I was happy to leave at that point. But if it was one of those I wanted to stay up till 4, and I know my guy loves staying up late, do you still stay up late when his wife wants to go to bed? Those are the things, those are the social interactions I love to live through.
And I think he's the host. If he's staying up and cracking open another
if I wanted to
Coors
stay up
Light,
all night and he wanted to stay up all night, I think we would have both stayed up all night. But I think it was both. I think this was one of those suitable ones. It just was, the fact that Sarah had to get up early the next day. I think she was a trooper. She wanted to stay out late. A fun night all in all. But again, I just love studying the interaction socially and how everybody has different viewpoints.
Have you ever had an issue trying to say goodbye to Gina Della from Pella when you're having floor steak or any
issues with anything that Gina Della does and the great team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. They are like your own personal party planner, their own personal barista for windows and doors and Pella's design options. They are virtually limitless, more customizable than your graduation party or your cup of coffee. Their wood windows and patio doors, they can be painted, they can be stained, they can be left bare to complement your home's unique decor. And they stand the test of time. That's why Pella confidently offers the best wood window warranties in the industry. Bundle and save when you customize your order by August 31st. Get started today at PellaWI.com.
What is the best protocol to leave a party? Tausch and I want your advice. With Jason on assignment, it's Nelly and Old T. 844-770-3776 is your way into the show. We'll check your text next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. June is a month full of milestones. From graduations to weddings to holidays, your weekends sure do fill up fast. Well, make sure you find a little time this month for some routine maintenance from the outstanding service team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, because you don't want to find out that your vehicle needs some service after it's too late. Whether it's a routine tire rotation or oil change or something a little more extensive, the great service team at Zimbrick Chevrolet will make sure you're safe and ready for any summer travel. Head to ZimbrickChevrolet.com to schedule an appointment and check out all the maintenance services they offer. And while you're there, check out Zimbrick's vehicle inventory. You never know. Maybe you'll want to set up time for a test drive this week. Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie. The name you can trust.
Hey, Fleet Farm fans, you asked, we listened. You wanted lower prices? You got them. In-store, online. We drop prices everywhere. Lower prices on summer favorites like Liquid Pool Shock, Griller's Gold Barbecue Pellets, and Airhead Towables. Lower prices on big name pet care like Purina Tidy Cats. Lower prices on Valvoline motor oils. All because you said so. Look for the bright green price drop signs to find new lower prices on everything you need for everyday life. Only at Fleet Farm.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, hey, how'd you pull this off? Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of the 2023 Chevy Silverado and its TurboMax engine, delivering impressive power with no compromised durability. Whether you're helping friends move or just moving some friends, this is the sound of a family with plenty of rear seat room to enjoy the ride. And this is the sound of you heading to your local Chevy dealer today. Find your Silverado and find new roads. Chevrolet. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. Looking for a team to play for in the spring and summer of 2024? Rays tryouts begin in July and August, and sign-ups are open now. Since 2010, the Rays have developed over 370 college players, including over 140 players committed to Division I baseball and 17 MLB draft picks. Rays Baseball. Raise your game.
Judgmental Jim Rutledge, man-child Matt Hamilton, Rutledge and Hamilton.
How many strokes would you need Steve Stricker to give you after your big win? For argument's sake, let's say University Ridge.
That is the course I play league at and would definitely feel the most comfortable playing Steve Stricker.
Look at this guy. He wins the BMW.
Well, no, I have an established handicap at University Ridge.
Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light. Weekdays 2 to 4 on 100.5 ESPN.
Jim Rutledge here to tell you about North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. North and South serves authentic wood-fired barbecue as well as savory seafood for both lunch and dinner. Whether it's North and South in DeForest, Verona, or the west side of Madison, you'll enjoy the best smart casual dining experience in the area. They also have takeout and catering options, so find your way over to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse, the official barbecue place of Rutledge and Hamilton. They're online at eatnorthandsouth.com.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
You don't want it, I want to move it. And if you want me, girl, you got me. There's nothing I know I wouldn't do just to get up next to you. Girl, you don't want it, I want to move it. And if you want me, girl, you got me. There's nothing I know I wouldn't do just to get up next to you. Just to get up next to you. You open the door, wearing nothing but a smile, fell to the floor, and you whisper in my ear, baby, I'm yours.
House today. Jason on assignment for the week, enjoying some much-needed time off for Jason Wilde. So we're holding it down. Matt Schneidman of The Athletic scheduled to appear at 10:15. We'll get into some football, some Packers conversation. And Tausch wants to talk about Kirk Cousins. Can't wait to get into that. Wonder if that was inspired from anything at the grad party over the weekend. But in the meantime, speaking of that grad party, the responses are flowing in like the keg stand was for the parents of the graduate on Saturday night. 844-770-3776. So many texts to get to here. Let's start with Jerryod in Canton, Ohio, one of our great leadoff hitters. I'm on board with Tausch's approach. We have younger kids that start getting out of hand past bedtime. I'm usually the guy that says, you ready to go about 15, 20 minutes before implosion time.
Yeah, I really think giving a 15, and that's with kids too, give, 10 more minutes, and then it usually is 15 or 20, but at least that starts setting the parameter. But hard outs, just like in Little League Baseball pool play, there's a hard out. Game can be going, hour 45, boom, it's over. That's what we need to start doing with party leaving.
Brandon in Tulsa texts in 844-770-3776. I will say
I think that's what to talk to the host. It's why you're coming to the party, So you continue to
Continuing with the text, 844-770-3776. John in Portage, 1,000% in on the Irish goodbyes. 1,000% in, says John in Portage.
See, I think everybody, and again, I have not looked at the talk and text line. I think everybody that goes to parties, and it's not like, I'm not talking about World War III here. I'm not talking about this like as some monster problem solved. But I do think it's an issue that every couple / family / party goer has to work through. And the point is on this that you want to make a clean, smooth egg. Otherwise, the lingering, it just gets uncomfortable for everybody. Chop it off and move on.
844-770-3776. Tucker in Wausau, one of my favorites, came up and said hi when we were at the state bowling championships up in Wausau earlier this year. My wife and I have a new rule for bars and parties. If there are a bunch of young people looking like they're having a lot of fun, that's when it's time for us to leave. Tucker's not an old guy by any means.
He's probably like you.
Yeah, he's like in my 30s.
Tucker's probably one of those, upper 20s, lower 30s, who's kind of transitioning into married life and socially wanting to do things a little different than the young folks that he still hangs, that probably still are friends with.
So do you experience that, or are you above that, where it's like you're out at Wando's and it gets to be midnight, 1 a.m., and you're seeing everybody and you're like, oh, man, I'm out with the college kids again.
Here's the deal. I don't go a bunch anymore, but when I go, I go. So, no, I'm going to go. And then it's figuring out how to get home, Uber, whatever it might be, or you have someone drive. That's the part. And no, I'm not interested in staying out till 2 or 3. That's just not where I'm at in my life.
Kevin in Sheboygan on the text line, 844-770-3776. If my choices are an actual goodbye or the Irish goodbye, or as we've started calling it, the what did Ryan and Madison say, the mystery dip, I'm going to Dublin, but I prefer a modified version where I will send a goodbye / thank you text after I've done the Irish goodbye.
Yeah, I respect that move.
And that's what I've done. So, and ironically, Tier 1 Tyler, who gets a lot of runtime on this show, he's the one that I Irish goodbye the most, because I feel like he can handle it, and we kind of have that respect and appreciation for one another. So we were at a show, the first time I ever did it, and I felt really uncomfortable doing it. But I think it was the same day that I called a state football championship game at Camp Randall. Then they had a concert somewhere near the square that they went to, and they told me to meet them after. And we got halfway through the show, I'm just exhausted. Like, this was a long couple of days, still a big weekend ahead. I couldn't do it. Like, I was not in the right mentality for it. So I went off to go to the bathroom. After that, just went over, grabbed my coat, took off. And as I got to my car, which was parked a few blocks away, got to the car, texted Tyler, hey, I had to dip out. I'll see you this weekend.
See, now I really respect when people leave a coat behind. That's when you know you're committed to it. And then you have to come back the next day to pick the coat up. That's when I tip the cap and say, kudos to you, sir or ma'am, that you're committed to the Irish exit. Because anytime someone, and this happens a lot in hockey, when we're down in hotel lobbies drinking Coors Light until the Lord knows how many hours of the night, and somebody will leave something behind and say, I'm using the restroom. And we're like, oh, did he dip? No, well, he left this back. Oh, he left his cooler down here. No. What they do is then you have to take the cooler. It's actually genius because you then have to take the cooler up to your room and bring it back. They don't have to do any of the lugging. So it's actually, and to be fair, if you're going to be cooler guy or back of truck guy, which everybody loves having the buddies that is the cooler guy that brings it.
Yeah.
It is on us as the drinkers to take care of that and to handle it because they're lugging this cooler from Madison, Wisconsin to St. Louis. I'm on board with it. I respect it. I never complain about cooler guy. Cooler guy is the coolest of the guys.
So I am cooler guy then, because I left a cooler in my buddy Dave's truck the other day.
It can't be like the one that you harness over a shoulder. It's got to be the big dog, where you're wheeling it, or someone's got to handle it.
Two-person carrying
anything
operation.
That can be carried over your shoulder is not cooler guy. That's baby cooler guy.
And baby cooler guy's not cool?
I'm not a fan of the baby cooler guy because that's selfish drink guy. Oh,
No,
I got
you can fit a 12-pack in a baby.
You
can take it out on the golf course.
But typically there's a lot of seltzers and other stuff. I want full-on cooler, dump ice chest in it guy. That's the guy you want to have around.
844-770-3776. Again, Tausch and I experiencing some minor technical difficulties here in our studio, so we need text today rather than phone calls for the time being.
What are we going to do when we have phone calls?
We'll figure it out. 844-770-3776.
I'm not going to lie to you. My confidence meter on figuring it out at this point, Wooly, where would you put it?
Okay, we can't hear him if he says anything.
I understand,
to us
but he's a hand guy. We're on video. 5%.
I think he was giving you a 5 out of 10, which would be a 50%.
50%.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't speak Wooly.
Let me tell you something. At 50%, I'm taking the lower, less.
We got this.
Under. No, we'll get it figured out. It's probably going to be in the next couple days.
You see Wooly putting that sign up at the AmFam Championship a few weeks ago with total confidence.
That is exactly why I'm going less than 50%.
Last text for the time being, but please continue to send them. We will review this as the show continues. John in West Bend, 844-770-3776. Have you ever lost a friend because you left early? No. Leave when you want, and they will still love you.
I agree with that assessment.
Yep, we gotta go is always acceptable. I have a friend who never says goodbye, always just slips away every time.
Do you like you shouldn't be leaving guy? Like, you can't go already. You can't, because that's why people Irish exit. What are you doing leaving? It's midnight. I used to be that guy. I am no longer that guy.
So you think it's IPT if Tyler and I are out
40
and Tyler
plus.
says I gotta go and I say, oh, what are you leaving for? That's IPT.
Yes.
Wow.
I think it's rude. No, I think that only goes when you're 40 and over. When you're under 40, I think you can bust chops and continue to push. 40 and over, you have to say, yeah, you need to get some sleep, call it. I don't have any problem with that.
This is an entirely new wrinkle into the conversation. So I guess for Tyler and I, in our low 30s, you would say that it is acceptable if one of us wants a dip and the other says, no, you can't get out of here.
No, you can bust chops big time. But once you start dealing with kids, when you're 40, I think when you're 40 plus, that's when I think you can start.
That's where you're drawing the line.
Yeah.
Not 35. No room for negotiation at 35.
Correct.
844-770-3776. Look at all this fan interaction we get when Jason's not on the show in the first half hour on a Monday. How about that? 844-770-3776. That was a cheap shot. I don't mean it, Jason. No matter what, Tausch, whether you're doing the mystery dip out or whether you're staying out all night at the grad party, you know whether it's in a keg or in a can with those blue mountains, it's Coors Light.
Coors Light, brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold package, cold filtered. You know it is made to chill, and it was a great weekend. Graduation parties. Last night after our championship, we had a couple of Coors Lights when we got back. It always is the beer for me when I need to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Coming up next, Tausch wants to talk about Kirk Cousins.
And Minnesota Viking fans.
Vikings fans.
Yeah, it was another twist at this graduation party. I'm talking, and Minnesota Viking fans, I don't know how any Packer fan can possibly think that they're less annoying than Bears. There's people that live in Kenosha, Racine, that think Bears fans. There's no way that Bears fans are more annoying than Viking fans. So I got a two-tiered approach. We'll do that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Overheard recently at Pasquale's. So what's the difference between traditional and original?
Good question.
And what do you do to make it so good?
It's all in the hands and the fresh ingredients.
I bet you have a good suggestion for the main course, too.
Go with the cowboy.
The best margaritas in Madison, followed by the red chili pork and mole cowboy burrito with cheese and onions. Giddy up, cowgirl.
Pasquale's Cantina, bringing the flavors of the Southwest to the Midwest. Pasquale's Cantina, Middleton and Verona.
Welcome to Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. May I take your order?
Yeah, I'd like 9 windows, please. I'm hoping they'll match my home.
Have it your way.
Excuse me? We're talking about windows, right?
Yes. Pella's design options are virtually limitless, even more customized than your coffee.
So you're like my personal barista for windows and doors.
Exactly. And if you customize your order by August 31st, you can bundle and save big.
Good deal.
Get started today at PellaWI.com.
You can drive cutting-edge design. 2023 Audis are on the lot and ready for delivery. Take advantage of 4.99% APR financing for up to 60 months on select new 2023 models. See dealer for details and exclusions. $18.87 a month per $1,000 finance. No down payment required to qualify buyers through Audi Financial Services. Offer ends June 30th. Stop in and test drive today. Check out our website to see the current inventory and our monthly specials. The search for your Audi begins and ends at Zimrick Audi of Madison, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road. Drive yours today.
The Club at Lac La Belle is the birthplace of golf in Wisconsin, with a rich history you will feel once you arrive. Experience a round at the Club at Lac La Belle. The redesigned course is open to the public 7 days a week. Schedule your tee time today at clubatlaclabelle.com. This is a golf destination that you will want to play over and over again, and enjoy fine dining and event space after your round. An historic past meets a vibrant future. Go to clubatlaclabelle.com to start your journey.
Hey, it's Alex Strofe. I love locally produced, handcrafted, and award-winning spirits, so it's a no-brainer. I choose Door County Distillery, which uses local ingredients for their wide array of whiskeys, brandies, rums, vodkas, gins, and a whole lot more. Available at your favorite retailer, or if you're headed up to Door County, find them on Highway 42 near Carlsville, where there's year-round sampling and sales. And by the way, head over to their website for a huge list of unique cocktail recipes. That's DoorCountyDistillery.com. DoorCountyDistillery.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America. Make the most out of your summer at Elkhart Lakes Road America. Bring the entire family out to experience the Trans Am Speed Tour live and in person July 7th through the 9th. Kids 16 and under get free general admission to all Road America season racing events with a paying adult at the gate. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Road America, America's national park of speed.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm Vice President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Show me the love.
When you put your eyes on Jordan Love, can you tell me if he's going to be good or not?
From the little bit I've seen of him, yeah, I think he's going to be all right. I think he's going to be good.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Cousins really the second best quarterback in the NFC? We're going to get into that right now. It's Wilde and Tausch, Jesse and Tausch today with Jason on assignment. Ryan Wollersheim. Wooly is our cousin sub of the day producing today's show. 844-770-3776 is your way into the show on the ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line, preferably the text portion for the time being. 844-770-3776.
Yeah, no talkie line right now.
No talkie line. So, Tausch, you were at this grad party on Saturday night.
Yeah,
it gave us content for the first two segments, and now we're getting into Vikings fans.
It was a great grad party, and there were some Viking fans there. And I enjoy bantering with Viking fans because there's always that trump card to lay down on the table, which is y'all's championship mantle is dead empty.
Well, how soon in the conversation do you play that? Do you let it drag out for a bit?
I don't, because I think even the way this is played out and the fact that we now have unknowns at quarterback, I think there is the perception that Minnesota feels that it's their division to roll with yet, and I don't think their front office feels that way, looking at how they've approached it. And I do think Kirk Cousins is really underrated. And the Viking fans that were at this party, I think, are looking at it and saying he's paid too much. And I kept coming back to who's better than him outside of Jalen Hurts in the NFC. And nobody gave me a good answer. So I still believe when you start looking at their roster, they're young. They had to get younger too. They had salary cap. They're in a lot worse position salary cap wise than Green Bay is. Even with Aaron Rodgers counting $40 million against the cap this year, they're still up against it. So the part and where I want to go with this is I respect, and I think Bears fans, I just think there is a different mentality with Packer fans and Bear fans, I think, see things in a more realistic way. I think Minnesota fans are delusional. I think Minnesota Viking fans, they have more inferiority complex than we have as Wisconsin sports fans by a lot. And when I look at how they're happy that Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers are no longer there, they still, just like I think the Bears fans with this opener in September are going to be, it just feels like they're still, even with all of the uncertainty in Green Bay, I sense that there's a lot of skepticism that they can still get past Green Bay, even under the circumstances we're talking about going into this 2023 season.
You think Vikings fans are still nervous about being better than the Packers this year?
I know that they are.
Even though they just won the division last year, they've won, and when you look at it, it's shocking that they've won almost as many division titles as the Packers in the last, if you go back 6-7 years. The Packers have had some roller coasters.
Go back the last 20, and it's pretty dominant.
Yeah.
But yes, the last 4 or 5 years, you've had obviously Rodgers' collarbone. You had the lost season of last year, and
the Vikings have been the team on top, and the Packers haven't been.
I give the Vikings credit. They have hung in, and they've done some good things, but it's just until they can get one, I think the pressure for that fan base and always having to hear the same stuff, just like Packer fans, well, you only got 2 championships with 30-some-odd years of quarterback play. All right, that's still 2 championships. Y'all have none. And all of those debates that go on, and I know everybody that is a Packers fan has Viking fan friends. And there is that we hold the cards against you. It doesn't matter because you guys haven't gotten anything done. And I don't think, as we look at it right now, with the uncertainty and Kirk Cousins being in his last year, they don't have a quarterback ready to be the next guy. The Packers organization has positioned itself in a much better place than where the Minnesota Vikings are as we sit here right now.
It's Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch today. Jason on assignment. 844-770-3776 is your way into the show. I do have a list from late May published by Sam Munson of Pro Football Focus ranking the top 10 quarterbacks in the National Football League. Number 1, Mahomes. Number 2, Josh Allen. Number 3, Joe Burrow. As expected, I think that's your top 3. 4 is Justin Herbert. Still not sure if I see what everyone else sees in him just yet. Aaron Rodgers is 5th. Lamar Jackson is 6th. If you're counting, those are 6 AFC quarterbacks for Pro Football Focus in the top 6. Here's your first NFC quarterback, Jalen Hurts at number 7.
1 year he's done it, for the record. 1 year.
Trevor Lawrence is 8th. If you want to talk about one-year wonders thus far in their careers, Trevor Lawrence, everyone, I would think, thinks that he's going to be good for a long time, but he's only proven it 1 year so far.
True.
9th is Kirk Cousins. So that makes him, according to Pro Football Focus, the second best quarterback in the NFC. So then who are your other options? Dak Prescott comes in at 10th. Matt Stafford is 12th for the Rams, and he's had a couple of down years since the Super Bowl run.
So, and this is my point. And
Derek Carr?
this is where kind of, I think, looking at it through green and gold lenses, and the fact that we don't know Jordan Love, what he's going to be. We just don't. The fact that you just listed those quarterbacks' names off, and if Jordan Love is as good as we hope that he can be, there is no doubt he could be a top 5 quarterback in the NFC. And as I've said, and I've heard on this airwaves many times, if he is better than average, he's going to be an NFC Pro Bowl quarterback. Because you just went through that list. Dak Prescott, maybe. I mean, he had a really bad season last year. Daniel Jones is another quarterback that I think you could look at and say, if he takes another step, does everybody believe he's going to take another step?
Yeah, but this list has Derek Carr, Geno Smith, Jared Goff all in front of Daniel Jones.
Yeah, that's the point, is that the NFC is positioned because the quarterback is so important to what goes on. That's why for all of us that think, why is it so crazy to think that the Green Bay Packers could be a playoff team next year? Normally, if this was the same scenario and Green Bay somehow, like the Brewers, got switched conferences, I would say we're screwed. We're in big-time trouble.
And probably for several years.
But the fact that that's not how it works, and it is split up, and you have 7 teams that make the playoffs, I don't understand why anyone would look at it and say, why can't Green Bay be one of those 7? I'm not saying they're going to be top 2 or top 3, but 7? And because quarterback drives the boat so much, there is Jordan Love. If Jordan Love can't crack this top 7, I don't know if you could say he's going to be that guy. There is so much room there for interpretation as far as who's there, who's going to be at the top, and you only have one somewhat solidified guy. That, I think, puts Jordan Love in. He's not going to be overburdened with pressure. He's got a team around him that you hope is built that will help him win. And I think he could be, I don't want to say he's going to be the next Justin Herbert, but if he can have a decent season where he shows growth, why would he not be a top 5 quarterback in the NFC by next year? He should be, and if he's not, I think it's fair to say you don't have your guy.
So wait a minute. What's more delusional now? Is it Packers fans saying Jordan Love can be a top 5 quarterback
in
this
the NFC?
Season?
In the NFC?
In the NFC? That Jordan Love could be a top 5 quarterback in the NFC this season?
Jesse.
Or is it Vikings fans saying Kirk Cousins is not a top 2 quarterback in the NFC going into this season?
Anybody that doesn't think Kirk Cousins is a top 5 quarterback in the NFC, they're not paying attention. I just wonder, why would Jordan Love, if you really believe that he's progressed and that he is someone that's been learning the system, why would he not be one of your top 5 quarterbacks? If he's not one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFC, when we're talking about this in January or February, and that doesn't mean we're going to win 10 or 11 games, because as we always point out, Aaron Rodgers was really good in 2008, and we won 6 games. We lost a lot of close games. I think I'm changing my tune. That is more, it's more about him than about all of the wins or losses, because there is a process that you go through with a young quarterback too, that you have to learn how to win those close games. That's not, and Tom Brady was one of the only ones that I remember when he first, but that was not his rookie year, just like this isn't Jordan Love's rookie year. He was able to win some close games and go on and win. He is the rare exception. Peyton Manning couldn't do it. Aaron Rodgers couldn't do it. John Elway couldn't do it. There are a myriad of quarterbacks that have done it, but in this class, in this NFC, if he is not viewed as a top 5 NFC quarterback when the offseason of 2023 comes around, you need to think seriously about wondering, he must not be the guy, because this group of quarterbacks, there's nothing special there.
Matt Schneidman of The Athletic scheduled to appear at 10:15 this morning on Wilde and Tausch. Can't wait to ask him for his opinion on if Jordan Love could be a top 5 quarterback in the NFC. As Tausch just said, is definitely possible. Seeing on the Get Up re-air on ESPN2 right now here in the Everlight Solar Studios, downtown Madison. Packers, according to ESPN Analytics, have a 28% chance to reach the playoffs in 2023.
I think that's a fair number.
I think so, too. And I think it depends on the questions that you have at quarterback going into the season. And for me, it's more so about Matt LaFleur. And does Matt LaFleur have the scheme in place that can set up the offense and likewise the defense to be in the best positions to succeed and win games the way that this team needs to win games this season? We'll talk more about that, including a potential poll question I want to run by you, Tausch, that was proposed for the Get Up crew late last week. I caught it out of the corner of my eye here in the studio. Want to run that by you. Coming up next, it's Wilde and Tausch, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Wisconsin On Demand.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. The University of Wisconsin-Platteville has announced that the Wisconsin football team will hold their first week of training camp on the UW-Platteville campus in preparation for the team's opener on September 2nd under the new regime led by head coach Luke Fickell. The Badgers will be in Platteville from August 1st through August 8th for team bonding activities, closed practices, and meetings. Platteville is the home to some of the most premier facilities in all of NCAA Division III and used to be the training camp home for the Chicago Bears from 1984 to 2002.
Pella's window and door design options are virtually limitless. Customize your order by August 31st and you could bundle and save big at PellaWI.com.
Are you dreaming of a new look? Let the pros at 5 Star Painting bring color to your world, to your interior, exterior, cabinets, and more. We make it easy with online scheduling, free on-site estimates, and a dedicated project manager on every job. Uneasy about hiring a contractor? We know, we've been there. 5 Star Painting is customer-focused and quality-driven, exceeding expectations every time. Call or visit 5starpainting.com today. 5 Star Painting, a neighborly company.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, home of the Big Win and Madison Casino Guru, is transforming guests into winners. Making an ordinary day into a big win day is easy with a 95% average payout. And with over 140 daily jackpots, the number of people winning has never been bigger. So what are you waiting for? Escape to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison for your next big win.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Mark Tosher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock here. Struggling to understand retirement planning, life insurance policies, or managing your wealth? Listen to my show every Saturday at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN or call me right now at 208-1800 for a complimentary consultation.
I love being an orthopedic surgeon because I can help people improve their lives. My name is Ashish Raval. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Stoughton Hospital and the Ortho Team Clinic. My specialty is sports medicine, focusing specifically on the care of the shoulder, hip, and knee. So the goal for me is always to see patients who want to get back to their active lifestyle. The techniques that I use now allow patients to return back to the activities, including sports, faster than ever before.
Learn more at orthoteam.com.
Hi, I'm Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to MadisonMoneyGuy.com.
Jordan Love is the new man in town.
The sample size is very small, but you can tell, I think he's going to be okay. I think he's a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
the best way to get your text read on Wilde and Tausch?
Compliment me.
I agree with Tausch.
That always helps.
Adam in Oregon, 844-770-3776.
Bend or which part of Oregon?
Oregon. This would be the western suburb of Madison.
Yep.
I have a Vikings fan colleague, and he is always the first to say the Vikings will find a way to screw it up. Uber inferiority complex from Adam in Oregon.
There is no doubt about that. And I think, as we've discussed many times, now finding out that Dr. J didn't come to Milwaukee either, I think that Wisconsin sports fans, outside of Packer fans, I think Reggie White changed the dynamic of coming to Green Bay, but that's because we've had great quarterback play too. There is that Midwest vibe that, oh, what's going to happen? And we fall prey to it sometimes too as Wisconsin sports fans.
844-770-3776. Your way into the show, the ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Jesse and Tausch today. Jason on assignment for the week. He'll return next week following the 4th of July holiday. 844-770-3776. So talking about Kirk Cousins, is he the second best quarterback in the NFC entering the 2023 season? Pro Football Focus says yes. Vikings fans, including the one that hosted the grad party that Tausch went to on Saturday, says no. Curious if you do believe Jordan Love could be a top 5 NFC quarterback this season like Tausch.
Why would we
asserted.
not believe that?
Because he's so raw. He hasn't proven anything.
I know, but
it's the same.
Jesse, I'm not saying this is a Hall of Fame class of quarterback. There's no Hall of Fame quarterbacks in the NFC as we sit here right now.
No, it's not, but I don't think the Packers will have them. I think if Jordan Love statistically has to put up the numbers to be a top 5 quarterback, the Packers aren't playing offense the right way this year. Does that make sense? Running the ball is going to be the team's strength. Running the ball, time of possession, control it.
Listen, for every stat that you don't get, you get double the credit when you win games.
Agreed, but that may, like Geno Smith last year. We talked a month ago.
Geno Smith right now is a top 5 NFC quarterback.
And is it just because he didn't screw it up?
He was
is that
better
what it came down to last year?
He was better than that, too. It's not... See, this is the problem when you're breaking down quarterbacks. There's this idea that you either stink or you're dynamite. You can just be good.
Game manager, Scott Tolzien.
You don't... Well, let's not... I love Scotty Tolzien, but come on. You have to look at this thing big picture-wise, and it is about understanding what your team needs from you. He's a young player. He's a first-round pick. I feel like, not that we're babying or giving, we should have high expectations for him. If he wants to be the next quarterback that has staying power, we should not be sitting here and, oh, shucks, and just give. He is a big boy. He's not a rookie. He's going into his 4th year. I think we should, as Packer fans, I'm not asking him to be an MVP. I'm not asking him to be the best quarterback in the NFC. All I'm saying is, in a watered-down, weak class, I can't remember a time when there has been less proven commodities at quarterback in a conference than there is right now in this NFC. And for us to not have the expectation that if he is going to be our quarterback for the next decade, that we don't see enough signs that he can't be top 5 in this class. There's 16 quarterbacks. And there ain't any of them that I'm like, whoa, we need this guy. Jalen Hurts would be the closest thing. And I think, obviously, he had a great season last year. Carson Wentz had a great season 5 years ago. He's out shooting Black Bear now. The league comes at you fast. I have not seen the proven. You have to prove it every year. He hasn't done that yet. We'll see. I'm not saying he won't, but he's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Joey Burrow. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen. And for us to all of a sudden just think, well, if Jordan Love is just okay, no. We don't know, but we should expect that when we have a coaching staff that is the winningest coaches of all time through 3 years, and with this roster that I don't think is as bad as everybody's thinking, if Jordan Love isn't a top 5 NFC quarterback, something's gone awry. We have not been right with our decision-making.
So first of all, is that a declaration that Carson Wentz is the new Eddie Lacy of life comes at you fast in the NFL?
Carson Wentz is the great example of late-round draft picks have to continue to prove that they can play, and first-round picks have to continue to prove that they can't play. That is a great example because two different teams didn't want to listen. Do you really think a good franchise like Philadelphia would get rid of a guy if they felt like he could still play? And then you think Indianapolis, who can't, since Andrew Luck retired, hadn't been able to find anybody, and they're saying, take him, please? There's something, and it's just crazy to me, and it's usually bad organizations. And I would say Washington has proven to be a very bad organization. And I think Indianapolis, outside of getting lucky with Peyton Manning, has been proven to be not a great organization. They continue to do that because they think they can change it. Carson Wentz has proven that's not the case.
So, inspired by a question that I saw on Get Up, and we'll get to this in a couple of minutes here on the start of the 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. I'm not sure you could make the assertion that Jordan Love should be a top 5 quarterback in the NFC this season, because I'm not sure you can even say that he isn't the worst quarterback in the NFC North heading into this season. And so we'll talk about that next and see how he stacks up then based on other quarterbacks around. Yes, but
if he's the worst,
what else do we have right now?
If he's the worst quarterback in the NFC, Brian Gutekunst made a colossal mistake.
Well, he may have. We'll check that to start the 10 o'clock hour. Need it or don't need it, a full assessment of what expectations should be for Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers in 2023. I would say that we need it, especially at this moment in time. But Tausch, whether we needed it or don't need it, if it's something you need, it's at Fleet Farm.
And you can get everything you need for your 4th of July cookout at Fleet Farm. You can shop their huge selection of grills, patio furniture, snacks, soda, and much, much more. Get it all in one easy stop at Fleet Farm. You can also get those apricot rings, great candy selection. Fleet Farm has everything you need to keep your 4-legged friends happy and healthy. Shop their selection and score savings on top brands in toys, treats, food, and more. Plus, with Fleet Farm's price match guarantee, you will always get the lowest price on your dog and cat food. Fleet Farm, serving the Midwest since 1955.
Matt in West Bend, I was at a sporting goods store in the Twin Cities. An employee came up to me, looked at my Packer hat, and said, "Vikings gear's over in the next aisle." I replied, "Yeah, I couldn't find any championship shirts." He looked at the ground and said, Nice. Well played, Matt in West Bend. The trump card that always is there for Packers fans talking to the Vikings fans. Where does Jordan Love rank among the NFC North quarterbacks? We'll talk about that as we get set for Matt Schneidman of The Athletic to join us at 10:15. In 2 minutes, the 10 o'clock hour starts on Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Welcome to Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. May I take your order?
Yeah, I'd like 9 windows, please. I'm hoping they'll match my home.
Have it your way.
Excuse me? We're talking about windows, right?
Yes. Pella's design options are virtually limitless, even more customized than your coffee.
So you're like my personal barista for windows and doors.
Exactly. And if you customize your order by August 31st, you can bundle and save big.
Good deal.
Get started today at PellaWI.com.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Norton.
It's a fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. The NBA draft has come and gone, so now it's time to take the step into the next phase of the NBA offseason. The free agency negotiating period officially begins Friday at 5 p.m., meaning tampering will begin in full swing this week. But what teams will actually be able to afford some of the big-name free agents hitting the market this offseason? ESPN's Bobby Marks broke down each team's cap situation and the likely returning and departing teams. Read that article over at ESPNWisconsin.com. The MLB's 2023 All-Star voting also moving into Phase 2 this week. ESPN.com's Bradford Doolittle wrote down which are the top five vote getters at each position so far, and who deserves your vote this offseason. Speaking of the MLB, the Crew won 5-4 in the 10th inning of yesterday's game against the Guardians. Milwaukee finished the weekend series by taking 2 out of 3 in Cleveland. Brewers are now just half a game behind the Reds for first place in the NL Central. They'll open a new series against the Mets tonight. First pitch is at 6:10 p.m.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
I've been grinding so long, been trying it for years. And I got nothing to show, just climbing this rope right here. And if there's a man upstairs, he kept bringing me rain. But I've been sending up prayers and something's changed.
10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. 100.5 ESPN Madison, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPN app, Wisconsin On Demand, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. No Jason Wilde today or the rest of this week. Jesse Nelson sliding over from the producer chair to host the show, along with the Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. Thanks to Ryan Woolley Wollersheim holding it down as our producer here in the Everlight
put a lot
Solar
on his
studio.
plate. He got headphones we got to put on. Woolley's holding it down.
We got a day going for us
We
here
do.
in the studio.
Well, it's a Monday.
But Woolley's got us ironed out. Matt Schneidman of The Athletic scheduled to appear about 10 minutes from right now. Excited to catch up with, what'd you text? Schnitzel is what it autocorrects to when you're trying to talk about him.
I think it's just because I like schnitzel.
So we'll see how he feels about that nickname, among other things, when Matt Schneidman joins us here in about 10 minutes. In the meantime, got into this conversation. It started with Kirk Cousins at the grad party that Tausch was at over the weekend, but now it has evolved into a conversation about Jordan Love, and we have a poll question that we have drafted up, ready for you to respond to on the Wilde and Tausch Twitter feed, at Wilde and Tausch. Tausch, I want you to sign off on this.
Okay.
Since usually Jason is the one who gets you to sign off on it. I've drafted it up. I want you to sign off on it here. Today's poll: is it unfair? That's our magic word. Is it unfair to expect Jordan Love to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFC after the 2023 season concludes?
I think it's absurd that we're even asking this question. I think it should be Canyon-esque. If he is not a top 5 quarterback, I think something's gone haywire in the NFC.
And the two options here, and this may get a little tricky for some of our fans, I want to make sure we differentiate these. Yes means it's an unfair expectation. No means it's not an unfair expectation. So you actually want to vote no if you believe in Jordan Love.
Maybe you need to
should I
clean
say,
up.
is it fair? And then we can switch those. Let's do that.
Fair, unfair. Yeah, you started to get double negatives, and that's fair means yes and no. So, yes, the question is, and if we could take calls, we would, the idea of how we as Packer fans wouldn't want in a, I don't want to use the term decrepit, but in the weakest class right now, you have rookies, you have old players that other teams have said we don't want as the quarterback. And I'm not saying they're terrible quarterbacks, because they're not, but they're very, very average. And when you get a young ascending player, which we all hope Jordan Love is, he should show enough for everyone to think maybe he's not the best in the NFC. It'd be awesome if he will be. But at least the top 5, I just think it's absurd to not have that expectation.
I have redone the wording. The poll is in the field.
Okay.
Is it fair or unfair to expect Jordan Love to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFC after the 2023
really
season
well-worded
concludes?
poll, Jesse.
This
Very
is why
nice.
we workshop things around here.
That's true, and we always do that on air.
And if we could ask
exactly
Woolley, we would, but our headphones aren't working. Fair and unfair are your options in the field right now on Twitter, at Wilde and Tausch. Curious
Which
to see
way
how
do
the
you
voting
think? What do you think
shakes there.
Schnitzel's going to say on that?
I think Matt Schneidman, a.k.a. Schnitzel, as it autocorrects in Tausch's phone, who will join us in a few minutes. I think he will agree with Brandon in Tulsa on the text line, who agrees with Tausch in all caps.
Oh, I love Brandon.
Best way to start a text to
Big
get in.
B.
Stop coddling Love. LaFleur needs to stop tempering expectations for him. If he can't succeed in the NFC, that means he stinks.
No, I just wonder. I don't think this is tempering expectation. I don't think. I understand.
No,
what
that's the opposite side of it.
I understand. No, it's not anything. It's the opposite side of it. Matt LaFleur wisely is saying, all right, everybody, hey, he's not played. And there are a ton of growing pains that come with this. That doesn't mean that you can't grow enough. We're not talking about going against, what's the new dude that just got drafted by San Antonio, Wembanyama?
Victor Wembanyama.
I'm not asking you to be 7'4". I'm asking you to be 5'10". You know, I'm not asking you to be the tallest cat. I'm asking you just don't be the shortest. Don't be the runtiest. And that's all. You know how in Charlotte's Web, Wilbur was the runt pig?
Wilbur!
And, you know, you kind of kept out. I don't want, just be one of the hogs. Just fit in, go to the fair. I just don't want you to be the weakest of the weak in a class that is, you're not getting a ton of blue ribbons out of this. You don't need to even get a blue ribbon. What's second place at the fair?
You tell me. You're the farmer around here.
Pink was third. Just give me a pink ribbon. I'm not pink ribbon year. No, don't need to be blue ribboned. Just don't be dropped off where you're still looking at it. And if you're not in that class, I think that's when you're looking from a Packer organization standpoint saying, we got 2 first-round picks next year. He ain't our guy. I firmly believe he needs to be in that echelon for us to feel really good about moving forward with him. When you're going to have to pay him,
Here comes the other side of the argument. Daryl in Deerfield on the text line.
Is that de facto or is that
no? It's a different Daryl.
Okay.
De facto Daryl's in Milwaukee. Daryl in
Love
Deerfield.
de facto Daryl.
Chimes in saying, the guy, that's Jordan Love, the guy threw 17 interceptions to only 20 touchdowns his final year of college. You're crazy if you think he's going to be a top 5 NFC quarterback.
We'll see. I mean, he's bringing up, that was 5 years ago, Daryl. He has been in an NFL system. He's had Tom Clements. He's had Matt LaFleur. He's watched Aaron Rodgers. He's got better talent. He's got a better O-line. There's a lot of other things that worked against him when he was at Utah State. It is not that case now. He is primed and set up to be a successful quarterback. If he is going to be a successful quarterback, being a top 5 NFC quarterback with this class of NFC quarterbacks is not asking you to lift the world. It's asking you just work. You just be okay. You don't have to be dynamite. Just show that you're improving and being a guy. Don't misconstrue this like that. He's an all-pro. You are looking at a very, very wide open operation that if you're just good, you are going to climb that quarterback carousel in a big way very quickly.
844-770-3776, the ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Ian and East Troy. Blue, red, white, pink. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that ring a bell at the old fair?
Red is second?
Red is second, according to Ian and East Troy. Blue is first, red is second, white is third, pink is fourth.
So he could really be any of those three. We don't even want him to be blue.
You just want him to get a ribbon.
Be great if he is blue.
Just get a ribbon.
Red, white, or pink, and I think we'd all be pretty content.
So you're
with
standing by. Pink ribbon would be fourth best in the NFC.
We'd be fine
you take
with that. Sure.
So the reason that I brought this up, and I want to touch on this very quickly before we get to Matt Schneidman of The Athletic. On Get Up last week, they asked, which quarterback do you want in the NFC North this season? And obviously your 4 choices are Kirk Cousins, Jordan Love, Justin Fields of the Bears, and Jared Goff with the Lions. Harry Douglas and Louis Riddick were the panelists that day, 2 pretty smart NFL guys. Harry Douglas said Justin Fields. Louis Riddick said Jared Goff with the Lions. And Greeny said Justin Fields with the Bears. No one picked Kirk Cousins, who by Pro Football Focus metric is the second best quarterback in the NFC.
Too much money. Yep.
And Jordan Love is totally unproven. So even with that knowledge going into this season, you still think Jordan Love has the chance to fairly be expected to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFC because it's so weak?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, wow. I just look at all of the other stuff, and if he is not, I think there's a lot of big question marks that have not been answered, and then that puts a lot on the organization about how they're going to move forward. Again, Justin Fields was not great last year, and the Bears said, we don't need a quarterback. The Packers are not going to have that luxury because they got him to take less than what you would have made on the fifth-year option. They are not going to be able to do that the next time around. So your timeline, you don't have the luxury of being bad for a year if you're Jordan Love because life moves on. The NFL does not pay premium dollars for bad play. And when you're the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers and your contract is up, you're going to want premium dollars. The Packers will not do that. And if they do not do that in a year that they'll have 2 first-round picks, unless Aaron Rodgers doesn't play 65% of the snaps, what do you think is going to happen? That's why if he isn't, he needs to do this not only for himself, but also the Packers need him to do this to solidify it. And if you can't be top 5 in this conference, it does not bode well for your future progressions as the quarterback for the G&G.
We'll get Matt Schneidman's thoughts on that from The Athletic. Matt Schneidman. With Jason Wilde on assignment, we call in one of his beat writer brethren to join us. Matt Schneidman, scheduled to appear next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde here to tell you about 5 Star Painting. If you're like me, you're probably looking up as much information as you can to choose who to work with for an upcoming paint project. Well, I'm here to share that the great team at 5 Star Painting ensures complete satisfaction in your project. From the initial measurement to the final walkthrough, the 5 Star Painting team will see that the project is done exactly as it should be. Take my word for it. Visit 5starpainting.com. That's 5starpainting.com.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
When you're injured, call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 30 years and proudly partnering with Wilde and Tausch. Miss any of the show? Find it with Wisconsin On Demand. Presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Summertime is heating up, and so are the deals at Metro Kia of Madison. This month, there are 75 new vehicles to purchase, like the 23 Kia Soul at 2.9% APR financing for 48 months, or lease the 23 Kia Telluride LX for $475 per month for 36 months. You'll also get a Chromebook, 4K Smart TV, or a $500 Visa gift card with any vehicle purchase. Drive into the deal of the summer at Metro Kia of Madison. Learn more at metrokiaofmadison.com.
The happy hour at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton is still Madison's best kept secret, so shh. From delicious appetizers to amazing drinks, and of course the ambiance provided by that horseshoe bar makes Ruth's Chris Steakhouse a must-go-to. From cocktails with friends, networking happy hours, or just treating the family, and everything in between. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton has everything you're looking for. So the next time you're looking to treat yourself, go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. And remember, it's Madison's best kept secret. Shh.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Jay, you ever got sucker punched?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Me too. Dude stole my pirate hat. The Dave Parker hats. Yeah, it was a freshman. I got clocked walking home from school in elementary. Dudes came out the alley. I stopped. Boom. Hat gone. Hat gone. I could do. I ran home.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings 5 to 9 on 100.5 ESPN.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
We tend not to think about right now, but right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. When you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research. Victory over cancer is there for the taking. By you. Donate at V.org. Because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
The biggest games play on Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania.
Kick is blocked.
Here we go again.
We've got ourselves a tie ball game.
Live games return this fall on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
I got the magic in me. Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold. Everybody knows I got the magic in me.
For the show, my big moment stepping in for Jason this week. I pulled open the Athletic app because I am a recently new subscriber. I was able to read Matt Schneidman's way too early Packers 53-man roster projection. And I think that's going to be a subject for us to discuss a little bit later this week, old T.
Okay.
Because in the meantime, we have the man who penned that article, one of Jason Wilde's beat writer brethren, covering the Green Bay Packers for The Athletic. It is not his first time on the show, but we haven't caught up with him in quite some time. It is Matt Schneidman of The Athletic joining us this morning. Matt, thank you for taking the time. Good morning, and how do you feel about Tausch's phone auto-correcting your name to Schnitzel every time he texts us about something you say or write?
I don't mind that. Recent subscriber. What have I been doing for the last 3.5 years?
I mean, it's you, it's name, it's Wildy for a time. It's a long time coming, but I've come around. I love what I've had so far. I highly advocate for anyone to subscribe to The Athletic. Tausch.
Yeah, Matt. A quick question: do you ever get Jason out for I know he doesn't drink, but do you ever get him out? Because he's on vacation. We're thankful that he's taking a vacation. But socially, I wonder what he does. Do you ever get him out?
Your guess is as good as mine.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. If I were to ask him to hang out outside work, he would say, I have gymnastics practice to go to or soccer. He's got much better things to do than hang out with me and Domovsky and Huber outside the walls of 1265 Lombardi Ave. So your guess is as good as mine. And if you don't know, given how long you've worked with him, then there's no way I know.
Yeah, I just wonder, if you said, I would love for you over the course of this week, and I don't know if you're up in Green Bay, you're probably on vacation too, just to say, hey, let's go mini golf. Because I'm trying to think, I always press him on hobbies because he has none outside of watching his kids' gymnastics and softball and everything else. What would be something that you could get him out? Because is there something you could get him to go do? Because I know at a certain point you ask, and when people say no, you just stop. But there has to be something that you could get him to go do socially.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm big into the recreational sports. I play in a sand volleyball league. I like to go bowling.
Yep.
Mini golf, definitely. To be honest with you, I didn't know he was on vacation. I thought he was just making too much for you guys, so you cut him and you'll sign back for the vet min before.
He's one of those mid-level exemptions, yeah.
I think maybe bowling might be the right choice, but again, I don't know how good his knees are. I know he's sometimes a little self-conscious about his legs showing because they're so muscular, so I don't know if that would be the right
pasty.
thing.
Yeah, they're so pasty,
I mean,
too.
he did just tell us a slip and slide was too dangerous of an activity.
Yeah, he
on
won't let
Friday,
his kids get a
so.
slip and slide. Yeah, so we have a lot of things we can work on with Jesse. The Green Bay Packers have a lot of things to work on, and I just made a statement, and I'm looking at things. I was, debating who is the number. I think Jalen Hurts is unanimously the best quarterback in the NFC. I don't know anyone that's argued that point otherwise. But then I look at the rest of the list, and I just made a statement thinking if Jordan Love is not viewed as a top 5 quarterback in the NFC after this 2023 season, I think we're in trouble as Packer fans. Do you think that's an unfair expectation for me and for Packer fans to have, that Jordan Love would be viewed as a top 5 guy in an NFC that is very weak at the quarterback position when you look at it holistically?
I think that might be a little unfair and strict because, listen, I think what this season is about for Jordan Love is proving that he can't or that he won't lose the Packers games. I'm not saying he has to be a game manager, but I think it's unrealistic to say he has to go out there and prove to be the reason the Packers win, like Aaron Rodgers has done for so many years. If he can just not throw games away, do his job, not make backbreaking mistakes, and give the Packers a reason to say, you know what, let's see a second year of this. Or even say he's the guy after 1 year. I think that's a reasonable expectation. Top 5 in the NFC might be a little strict, especially because you have quote-unquote proven guys like, Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff. Who knows what Kyler Murray is going to come back and do? Derek Carr. Yes, you want Jordan Love to be better than those guys in the long term, but I think to expect him to be better or even in the top 5 after just 1 year might be a little unrealistic if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Top 10, I would say. If he's not in the top 10, then maybe is a reason for concern.
You're not alone, Matt. Our early poll returns 69% of 200 votes early on saying it's unfair to expect the top 5.
It just feels like to me Jordan Love is not a rookie. I know he has not played a ton,
right,
but there's decisions that have to be made. And when you're talking about if you're going to be the 10th or 11th best quarterback when there's only 16 quarterbacks in a spot where there is a lot of openings, you're talking about next year having to make a decision of, am I going to pay this guy Daniel Jones type money, $40-45 million a year, or I have 2 first-round picks that we can use to get a new guy to reset as a rookie. If he hasn't solidified himself, I guess if you want to go top 7, if he's not one of the best in that conference or at least trending that way, the Green Bay Packers will have an interesting offseason next year to try and figure that out. If he doesn't show those signs, it's almost worse. If you almost would rather him be really bad or good, really good, than be in that middling area with which what the New York Giants had to deal with in trying to figure out how to pay Daniel Jones.
How does that compare to what you expect, Matt?
Yeah, I was just going to say I think trending that way is a good way to put it, and I think we can compromise on top 7. I'm looking at the teams in the NFC now: Hurts, Daniel Jones, Prescott, Kirk Cousins, Goff, forget the NFC South besides Derek Carr, maybe Geno Smith after the year he had, Kyler Murray, but who knows if Brock Purdy's going to come back and play like he did the second half of last season, and Stafford. I mean, I think it's fair to say, maybe this is a fair compromise, if Jordan Love is in the top 7 or 8 and trending like he can be a top 5 or 4 guy by the end of year 2, then Packer fans should not be worried. If we're sitting here at this time next year and we're saying, ooh, he's kind of on par with a Desmond Ridder or, a Sam Howell, and the Falcons and Commanders came nowhere near the playoffs, then it might be time to worry. Or it should be time to worry if that's the case.
Joined by Matt Schneidman of The Athletic on Wilde and Tausch. Jesse Nelson in for Jason Wilde today with Tausch. Ryan Wollersheim is our producer. So how do you think, Matt, that Jordan Love stacks up against the other quarterbacks in the NFC North? We had a quick conversation about Kirk Cousins earlier today, asking if he's the second best quarterback in the entire NFC. But we saw a conversation on Get Up last week that Jared Goff and Justin Fields are both quarterbacks that the panelists there would take out of any quarterback in the NFC North. Where do you think Jordan Love, when this season concludes, where do you think he'll stack up against some of those other guys that are up and coming or that are solidified already within the division?
I think it's fair to want him third in that division just because of the sample size. You know, Kirk Cousins and Jared Goff, although they have accomplished a significant amount in their careers, it's nothing too grand. I mean, I understand Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl, but if we're looking at the grand scheme of things, it's not too much. So you want, in the long term, Jordan Love to be better than both those guys. Regardless of what he does his first year, short of winning a Super Bowl, maybe even getting to an NFC championship game, I don't see a situation where we can sit here, 7 months from now and fairly say Jordan Love is already better than Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins. Could we sit here and say he's better than Justin Fields? If Jordan Love goes and beats the Bears twice this year, I understand it's not quarterback versus quarterback, and that's something Aaron always professed. It's me versus the other team's defense. It's not me versus Patrick Mahomes, whatever you want to call it. I think it's far more realistic to sit here 7 months from now and say, okay, Jordan Love just helped the Packers to the playoffs. Bears aren't in the playoffs again. Jordan Love's already better than Justin Fields, even with Fields having a larger body of work. So I think it's realistic to want and expect even Jordan Love to be third in the NFC North after this season. And then for Packer fans' sake, hopefully first after 2 seasons, just from a sense of what we have to work with sample size-wise.
Matt, we've got some more we want to dive into with you. I know Jason never has anything going on. Are you okay to stick around for another segment with us?
Absolutely. I'm still in Green Bay. My favorite weather, rain is out today. I'll chat with you guys as long as you want.
Awesome. Well, we'll keep you around then. Matt Schneidman of The Athletic. More Packers conversation continues next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Olson Toon has been customizing both residential and commercial outdoor living spaces since 1997. Matt Hamilton here from ESPN Madison. For over 50 years of combined experience in their management and design teams, Olson Toon has become one of Wisconsin's premier building and landscaping outdoor living firms. Landscaping and maintenance, irrigation, concrete work, pools, and more. If you have an outdoor living need, Olson Toon is here to help. Go to olsontoon.com to get started on your home project today. That's olsontoon.com.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Welcome to Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. May I take your order?
Yeah, I'd like 9 windows, please. I'm hoping they'll match my home.
Have it your way.
Excuse me? We're talking about windows, right?
Yes. Pella's design options are virtually limitless, even more customized than your coffee.
So you're like my personal barista for windows and doors.
Exactly. And if you customize your order by August 31st, you can bundle and save big.
Good deal.
Get started today at PellaWI.com.
In a land carved by glaciers and shaped by champions, Trapper's Turn is a specialty golfing experience. 27 holes designed by 2-time U.S. Open champion Andy North present an enjoyable challenge at any level. Nestled between beautiful pines, the all-new 12 North Par 3 course offers the ultimate in golfing fun. Refuel and unwind with year-round dining in the heart of the picturesque Dells. Golf time is precious. Spend it somewhere beautiful. This is Trapper's Turn. Book your tee time at trappersturn.com.
Don't accept anything less than your best self. If you're feeling more run down than you did when you were younger, struggling to lose weight, losing muscle tone, trouble sleeping, and loss of libido can all be signs that you need to see Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. Jim Rutledge here. Change your life and see if hormone optimization is right for you. Don't settle for less than the best. Go to Carbon World Health. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com or give them a call at 608-709-8089.
Take the long, strange trip with Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. Weekdays from 4 to 6.
Ben Brust, and are you smarter than Ben Brust? In 3, 2, 1. What is the process of a liquid turning into a solid called?
Pass!
Ben, you passed on the question. What is the process of a liquid turning into a solid?
Yeah, I did.
Water's a liquid.
Freezing.
Subscribe to the Scalzo and Brust podcast free on the Wisconsin On Demand app.
I love being an orthopedic surgeon because I can help people improve their lives. My name is Ashish Raval. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Stoughton Hospital and the Ortho Team Clinic. My specialty is sports medicine, focusing specifically on the care of the shoulder, hip, and knee. So the goal for me is always to see patients who want to get back to their active lifestyle. The techniques that I use now allow patients to return back to the activities, including sports, faster than ever before.
Learn more at orthoteam.com.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Medicine Money Guy Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to MadisonMoneyGuy.com.
We're on the Packers.
I have heard Matt LaFleur tamp down expectations for Jordan Love.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
He certainly isn't saying the sky's the limit.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Wilde and Tausch with no Wilde. This is Jesse and Tausch today. We are joined by Matt Schneidman of The Athletic, continuing our conversation as we talk all things Green Bay Packers. A lot of Jordan Love heavy stuff in our first segment. If you missed it, you can always subscribe for the Wilde and Tausch podcast on Wisconsin On Demand, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. Thanks to David Gruber and his entire team for being a proud partner of Wilde and Tausch and our podcast on Wisconsin On Demand. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all. So, Matt, I want to ask you this party question that before we forget to do this, because I've got some questions about the Packers' expectations for the season and Jair Alexander and some other fun stuff. But we started the show today. Tausch was at a graduation party over the weekend, and he is now officially in for the Irish goodbye, leaving any group setting. Are you in or out on the Irish goodbye, or as one of our texters said, the mystery dip, where you mysteriously dip out from the group at any given point? In or out on that?
You guys must have had a camera on me this weekend, because I found myself in a very similar situation on Friday night. I am out on the Irish goodbye, but I don't think it needs to be a situation where you go to everybody to say goodbye. I think as long as you say goodbye to one person, that's all the respect you need to give to the people there. There was about 15 people at the gathering I was at. I kind of just hit a wall around midnight, wanted to walk home, and I said to one person, I'm out of here, see you later. I don't need to spend 5 minutes saying goodbye to everybody, them trying to start conversations with me. But I also think if you just leave and everyone's like, where did Matt go? I'm not saying it's rude or disrespectful. I just need, when they say, where did Matt go, one person at the party to speak up and say, oh, he left. That's all.
So you just need one person on your side.
That's it, yes.
Yeah, I think it's just
an approach.
The Midwest approach, you don't want to make anyone feel bad. That's the gist of what I've come to the conclusion of. And there's going to be lingering on both sides of it. So we've come to that conclusion. All right, Schneids, first, does anybody call you Schneids? Is that not, is that what does Wilde call you? Matt?
That's a good question. Now that I think about it, I think he calls me both. You know, I've had different nicknames throughout my whole life.
Schnitzel.
Throughout my whole childhood, it was Schneid, because the movie School of Rock with Ned Schneebly, Professor Schneebly. I was professor because I was a point guard in basketball, so the street baller, the professor, and also Professor Schneebly, so it was kind of 2 in 1 there. But I've heard everything in the book.
Okay, all right, Schneidly. So when you're looking at this this entire Packers roster and kind of where you're at, Mercedes Lewis just came out. I just saw his quotes that he still wants to continue to play. Where are you most intrigued about the potential? Because there is a lot of unknowns, starting with the quarterback. But the tight end position, to me, is the most interesting because you didn't get a ton of production last year, and you have all of these young guys that are coming in, and everybody, again, in shorts, raving about where their speed and everything has improved. That's where I'm most intrigued. Where are you?
I agree with you. I would say my questions about the safety position are less intrigue and more worry because of the lack of proven options there with no Adrian Amos, especially given what Darnell Savage and Rudy Ford did last year and how mediocre they were, I would say. I think that's a fair way to put it. But in terms of intrigue, I would definitely say tight end. Because, listen, it's not attractive to your casual football fan. Obviously, there aren't many of those here in Green Bay, so they understand how important a blocking tight end is to an offense, especially with how often coaches and players sang the praises of Lewis over the past 5 seasons he was here. I'm no Brian Gutekunst. There's a reason I'm talking about the Packers and writing about them instead of running a team because he knows way more than I do. But I think there would still be people inside that building who would want Mercedes Lewis. Not because they're not high on Tucker Kraft or Luke Musgrave. Those guys could be great players. But because there's maybe nobody in the NFL at the position who can do what Mercedes Lewis can from a blocking perspective. It wasn't just words that players and coaches would say about him. You would see it on tape. And the occasional catch even, it gave us stuff to marvel at. So, listen, I think there's a lot of intrigue there because of the high upside from a pass-catching standpoint with the 2 rookies, but also because there still seems to be a little bit of a void with a skill set in the blocking department that has been so important here over the past half-decade.
Yeah, and this is the part that I don't fully understand because I know they're not using the term rebuild, but there's definitely a youth movement and getting cheaper at certain positions. But if you're going to lean on the running game and you bring Aaron Jones back and you decide to bring David Bakhtiari back, which I was surprised that they gave him basically full freight back on the contract that he signed, why not? Mercedes Lewis is not going to be expensive. Your head coach loves him. You know that he's still a really good run blocker, and it's not going to cost you a ton. And by the way, very good. A pro's pro. Everybody raves about him. So if you're Brian Gutekunst, what is your rationale for not bringing him back?
I would love to know that because if we look at the veterans they let walk, you can understand why they let Lazard walk for the amount he signed with the Jets for. You can understand why they let Cobb walk. You can understand why they traded Rodgers. You can understand why they let Robert Tonyan walk.
Adrian Amos.
To bring back Mercedes, exactly, Adrian Amos too. Maybe him less so just because of what they have at safety, but still, even him. The case to bring back Mercedes Lewis out of any of those guys is probably stronger than even to bring back Rodgers or to bring back Amos just because of what they don't have at the tight end position and with what he brings. Now, the case to, not that David Bakhtiari was a free agent, but the case to not trade him or cut him is obviously very strong because what's the best way to ensure a first-year starting quarterback stays upright? To give him arguably the best left tackle in the game when healthy. I understand that. But the case to obviously have Mercedes Lewis here is just a little less strong than that, still very strong. So I would be fascinated to hear Brian Gutekunst's rationale. We have not talked to him, now that I'm thinking about it, since was the draft last time we talked to him? I need to look back. But, yeah, I mean, even if we did talk to him, he probably wouldn't give you a straight answer. But I think there's still some feeling inside that building that Mercedes Lewis could do some good for us.
Joined by Matt Schneidman of The Athletic on Wilde and Tausch. Jesse Nelson in for Jason Wilde today, along with Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin and Wisconsin on Demand. Matt, one of the conversations we've had pretty much all offseason is could the Packers still be a playoff team in 2023 given the changes they've experienced this offseason? But given the landscape of the NFC, they probably have a chance at it. Where would you set that expectation at for yourself heading into the 2023 season? Can the Packers be a playoff team?
Not only can they will be.
Wow.
I like
Whoa.
that. Just wait a second. Just wait a second.
Whoa.
We have a beat reporter that gives a strong take?
What?
Uh-oh.
What is this?
Uh-oh. All right, let's hear more. Oh, this is fascinating.
I think they'll go 10-7. That has been my prediction all along this offseason, and I'm not wavering from it. If I end up looking foolish, so be it. But I don't want to waver like maybe I have in past off seasons when circumstances have changed.
No hedging.
This
I love
is so
it.
weird.
I don't even know what
Nuts.
to even. I don't even know what to think right now. I'm blown away.
Do I think Jordan Love makes them better than Aaron Rodgers? No. But I also think it frees them up to win games in different ways. Now, I'm not saying Rodgers, overtook anything or stole responsibility or put things in his own hands when he shouldn't have. But I think, finally, there might not be pressure on Matt LaFleur to put the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hands. They can lean on the run game, which, when everyone's healthy up front, might be the best run game in the league. They certainly have arguably the best running back tandem. Knock on wood, when healthy, probably the best offensive line in the league. I mean, they were, according to ESPN's pass block and run block win rates, they were 5th and 8th in those categories respectively last season with a very banged-up line and the best left side of an offensive line in the NFL nowhere near full strength for a consistent stretch. So on offense, yes, they're not better at the quarterback position in the immediate future. And they're very unproven at receiver. But I think they have the freedom now to explore a different formula to succeed on offense. And then on defense, one of these years, they're going to be a top 5 defense with all the guys they have, right? We've been dead wrong the last couple of years. I think the biggest question for this team, and why I think they can be a playoff team, more so than the quarterback, more so than the running game, more so than Jair Alexander and Rasul Douglas staying healthy, is Rashawn Gary. In the first 8 weeks of last season, there was only one player in the NFL with a higher pressure percentage among guys who rushed the passer at least 100 times. So basically, regular pass rushers. That was Nick Bosa, who won NFL Defensive Player of the Year. From weeks 1 to 8, the Packers were second in the NFL in pressure percentage. From weeks 10 to 18, they were 28th after Gary tore his ACL in week. He is their pass rush. If he stays healthy, this defense has a chance to be dominant.
And you add in Lucas Van Ness, who I've already said I am high on him because he already has NFL stuff as a rookie. He is going to be strong enough to bull rush offensive tackles. It's just a matter of can he do other stuff, but it's not like he is going to be a immediate contributor, even if Rashawn Gary takes a little time. But that is the big question mark. Is Rashawn Gary going to be ready to go? When is he going to be ready to go, and how healthy is he going to be? Nobody really knows that. Matt, do you think I just heard some rumblings, and again, it's just rumors, but do you think that the coaching staff and or front office feels like the way last season played out, had they went with Jordan Love, because the argument why you move on from Aaron Rodgers because they go 8-9. Do you think that there's people over at 1265 that feel like had Jordan Love played a full season, they would have been better than 8-9 last year?
I don't know. I think hindsight's 20/20, but after Rodgers' second consecutive MVP, regardless of what we want to look back and say about, Jordan Love would have given them a better chance to win or this or that, they had to extend Rodgers. They had to keep him coming off 2 straight MVPs. And at the end of the day, I think more so than anything tangible on the field, if you get rid of Aaron Rodgers after a second straight MVP season, that probably splits the building in half. As much as he pushed people the wrong way in that building at times over the years, there are definitely going to be some people inside those walls, and what the heck are we doing getting rid of him after his second straight MVP season? Now, getting rid of him after last season, you probably have a strong majority, if not 100% of the building saying, okay, now is the right time. So forget whatever it says, from a Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers on the field perspective about what they should have done, but just from an organizational culture standpoint, I don't know if it was the right decision to move on from him a year earlier than they did. Now, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that having Jordan Love last season for a full year would have gotten them to the playoffs. Would he have broken his thumb? Who knows? Would he have made some more conservative, more quote-unquote right decisions that Rodgers did not make? Who knows? It's tough to say. As LaFleur and Goody always say, you know, hypotheticals aren't the most fun thing to talk about. Well, for us they are, but not for them.
No doubt.
At the end of the day, I think they made the right decision, both extending him and then moving on from him. And now here we are with the pleasure and benefit of talking about what Jordan Love could be now after 3 seasons, similar to how Aaron Rodgers was going into his first season as a starter.
All right, Matt, last one for me. Your article, I'm sure, got a ton of clicks. It was great. We had you on to talk about it when you were discussing kind of that timeline on the Rodgers. Any feedback did you get from any your sources or just in general that you found interesting from that article that you wrote?
I did not hear from Aaron, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Not that I care. I wrote the story. I stand by, everything I reported. It doesn't really matter to me whether he likes some stuff or not. I did say to him on our call that there would be stuff in here or in the story that he didn't like necessarily, and he understood that and he respected that. I haven't really heard from the Packers side either, so I guess it's a good thing for both sides that they weren't too ashamed with, not ashamed, ashamed's the wrong word, too pissed off. Again, it's not my job to make sure people are happy. As I said with you guys when I was on a couple weeks ago, I just wanted to present both sides of the story fairly. My biggest takeaway from that, from the feedback I've gotten, is it was time to move on, like I said, because people could see that from the outside, just from this offseason of, oh, he's not responding or they're having trouble contacting him or reaching him, whatever way you wanted to interpret the whole FaceTime saga, people could understand from this offseason alone it was time to move on. But I think part of the reason I told the story of the last 3 years was because it was a lot more than this offseason. And I think when people realized that, there was a lot stronger sense of, okay, so they really had to move on because this wasn't just this offseason. This was years in the making, and they really do need to see what Jordan Love has. I will say, I reached out to Aaron because I wanted to get his side. I think it's important, regardless of what I believe, what the reader believes, with regards to who's telling the truth. It's important to hear both sides. From the feedback that I saw, I think people are much more on the Packers side. It doesn't matter what I personally believe. That's why I didn't put that in the story, because it doesn't matter. But I think people came away from this not liking the way Rodgers looked, which I thought was an interesting takeaway. I'll put it like that.
Matt Schneidman of The Athletic, home run guest today on Wilde and Tausch.
Wow, I don't even know what to. I mean, strong takes, big opinions,
bold predictions.
Woo!
Left us speechless.
He's going to take Wilde mini golfing. What else? We're going to get our boy happy and rested. Oh, you're not.
I'll stand firm on 10-7, but I did not commit to taking Wilde mini golfing.
That's fair.
I'll go bowling first.
I hypothesized that was something you're going to do, and we love hypothesis. Thanks a bunch, Matt.
Thanks so much, Matt.
Thanks, guys.
Matt Schneidman of The Athletic joining us on Wilde and Tausch.
I think Jason should go mini golfing with Matt. I think Schneidman could be a really good influence from a getting out and having fun standpoint. I think Jason, after that slip and slide, he needed a week because I think he started, and I think his kids are going to have the slip and slide up. Maybe Schneidman will go over and slip and slide with the kids.
I think, first of all, I know Schneidman would get on a slip and slide. Who's the fourth then? If you got Wilde, Schneidman, Domovsky, who's the fourth?
I think Bill Huber's their other guy.
Go play 18 at Pirates Cove or wherever they're going to go.
Hubes would be the fourth.
Huber will get in on that with them. All right. Hey, let's dissect a little bit of what Matt Schneidman had to say coming up next, because I am fascinated. We'll also get a check of the early poll returns that we have posted from this hour, and we're going to unveil who a special guest is that's scheduled to appear.
Very important to say scheduled.
Scheduled to appear in the remainder of the show. We'll do all of that next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com. You, rah, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
Big trailers and big opportunities at Stoughton Trailers. Immediate openings at the Broadhead, Evansville, and Stoughton locations. Assemblers, forklift drivers, and more. Apply at stojobs.com. The University of Wisconsin-Platteville has announced that the Wisconsin football team will hold their first week of training camp on the UW-Platteville campus in preparation for the team's opener on September 2nd under the new regime led by head coach Luke Fickell. The Badgers will be in Platteville from August 1st through August 8th for team bonding activities, closed practices, and meetings. Platteville is the home to some of the most premier facilities in all of NCAA Division III and used to be the training camp home for the Chicago Bears from 1984 to 2002.
Pella's window and door design options are virtually limitless. Customize your order by August 31st and you could bundle and save big at PellaWI.com.
Zimbrick Chevrolet.
When was the last time you had your oil changed or your tires rotated? Do you need new tires, a battery, perhaps some windshield wipers? Zimbrick Chevrolet Service Center is equipped to help you with routine maintenance, major repairs, and everything in between. Get your free battery inspection coupon and schedule an appointment today at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Don't overpay. Shop at Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie.
Main Street, Sun Prairie. Zimbrick Chevrolet.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. Looking for a team to play for in the spring and summer of 2024? Rays tryouts begin in July and August, and sign-ups are open now. Since 2010, the Rays have developed over 370 college players, including over 140 players committed to Division I baseball and 17 MLB draft picks. Rays Baseball. Raise your game.
Mike Greenberg. If you and I meet as adults, I shouldn't know when your birthday is, and you shouldn't know mine. Hahn was in here yesterday. Alan Hahn, it was his birthday. You know who didn't tell me that? Alan Hahn. Cam just said to me as we're coming out of break, give Bubba a birthday shout. Let's get that out there. Why? Like we talk about these things like we're still 9. Am I wrong? Who here thinks I'm wrong?
Greeny, weekdays noon to 2 on 100.5 ESPN.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Treat yourself to a new shower this summer. Kohler Services is a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned in Wisconsin for 150 years. Kohler is the only manufacturer offering fast, professional installation and care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit kswisconsin.com to request your free quote and tell them that I sent you over. Again, that's kswisconsin.com.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Former NFL player and Rose Bowl champion Tarek Saleh here for Carbon World Health. Carbon is much more than just another gym. They offer the best recovery in the area. Some of my favorites include red light therapy and cryotherapy. Improve your athletic performance, fitness and training results, speed up muscle recovery and reduce pain, and boost your mood with these simple and non-invasive treatments. Visit Carbon World Health today and ask for the ESPN Recovery Package. That's Carbon World Health.
We're on the Packers.
I've never seen a Green Bay Packers team with more question marks.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 position groups that are bad.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Special thanks to Matt Schneidman again for joining us during this 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. Jesse and Tausch today. Jason on assignment for the week. If you missed any of it, subscribe to the Wilde and Tausch podcast. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. One call. That's all. And if you don't have a chance to stick around through the 11 o'clock hour of today's show, you're definitely going to want to subscribe to that podcast. Not only to go back and hear some of the great insight, bold predictions, fun that we had with Matt Schneidman, but also we have another special guest scheduled to appear at 11:30 this morning. Scheduled to appear. Tausch, you've been working on this one, and we can't say with 100% confidence that he will be with us at 11:30, but we are confident enough to share that longtime Packers kicker Mason Crosby is scheduled to appear at 11:30 today. Scheduled to appear, Tausch.
Yeah, I don't feel 100% awesome about it, but I feel good enough. We've went back and forth. We were trying to do it on Friday. Things came up as they do, and Mason's obviously busy. I don't even know where he's living, but the plan is 11:30, and if I hear something different, we'll reconvene and do Wooly. But
we're either Ryan Wollersheim or Mason Crosby at 11:30 today.
I'm fascinated, too, because we talked about with Schneids about Mercedes Lewis, and it doesn't make any sense that they wouldn't bring him back because he's not going to be Bonko. Mason, I know obviously, a kicker's contract is about $5 million a year. I don't know if that's still in play. They want to go young. They want to get their new kicker. They went Anders Hill, but if you're believing, like Schneidman believes, that they're going to be a playoff team, games come down to that. And the last thing you want to do is go through learning curves and putting your team in position and finding ways to win games, and then you don't have a kicker that you trust to make. Now, maybe Anders will be that guy, and if he is, great. But Mason Crosby's still sitting out there. I know his wife and everybody have kind of said we're moving forward. It ain't over till it's over.
We talked about the article last week, one projected offseason move for all 32 NFL teams from ESPN's Field Yates. His projection for the Dallas Cowboys was sign kicker Mason Crosby.
I could see that happening. He obviously has lived in Dallas. Mike McCarthy knows the clutchness. Jerry Jones learned the clutchness of one Mason J. Crosby, too. So we saw what happened with their kicker in I think it was a playoff game where he couldn't make an extra point. They have championship aspirations, and Mason Crosby has proven to be a championship kicker. So that's the battle lines when people are telling you that the Green Bay Packers aren't rebuilding, and you look at a couple of these moves, and it tells you, that's their mindset. Whether it's right or wrong, we don't know yet, but a veteran kicker that you can trust, that is a valuable thing in an NFL locker room, especially when you fight and scrap and claw and you get a stop and then you get the football back. And if you remember Aaron Rodgers, I think it was the Arizona Cardinals or the San Francisco 49ers. I don't even think Devontae was playing, and he moved the football down the field, spiked it, and knew they were winning that football game. Those are those moments when you need that guy. And if you're in the position everybody wants to win, your actions sometimes dictate that too. And this is a bold move by Brian Gutekunst to not go veteran and go with the young rookie.
So again, we are hoping that Mason Crosby will be good to go, scheduled to appear at 11:30, about a half hour from right now here on Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin. Special thanks again to Matt Schneidman of The Athletic for joining us. We will review some of the returns for our poll question. Tausch has taken an L on the Wilde and Tausch Twitter feed.
What?
Yeah, we'll have to review that and some of the
interesting.
comments that come with it to start the 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your SportsCenter update brought to you by 5 Star Painting, your residential and commercial professional painters for interiors, exteriors, kitchen cabinets, decks, and fences. Check them out at 5starpainting.com. Well, the NBA draft came and went this past week, so time to step into the next phase of the NBA offseason. The free agency negotiating period officially begins at Friday at 5 p.m., meaning tampering will no doubt take place this week. But what teams will actually be able to afford some of the big-name free agents hitting the market this offseason? ESPN's Bobby Marks breaks that down with each team's cap situation and the likely returning and departing players for each squad. Read that over at ESPNWisconsin.com. MLB's All-Star voting also moves into Phase 2 this week. ESPN.com's Bradford Doolittle broke down the top 5 vote getters at each position so far and who deserves your vote this season. Speaking of the MLB, the Crew won 5-4 in the 10th inning of yesterday's game against the Guardians. They took 2 out of 3 out in Cleveland this past weekend. Milwaukee going to continue their current road trip with a 4-game series against the Mets. First pitch from New York set for 6:10 p.m.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch, ESPN Wisconsin, Wisconsin On Demand, wherever you get your podcasts. No Jason Wilde today. Jesse and Tausch holding it down with Ryan Wollersheim. Wooly, our producer in the Everlight Solar studio in downtown Madison. Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Studios. Josh DiMaggio hanging out there with us here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, and wherever you get us worldwide. Plus, we welcome everyone watching us live on the video stream. You may have noticed us. We've been experiencing a couple of these technical issues this morning.
Yeah.
So when we had Matt Schneidman on, we had to put our headsets on, which was fine. But it may have looked like one of those films that was like dubbed over where it wasn't quite lining up.
Yeah, those things always annoy me.
It's tough watch sometimes.
It's not the easiest.
So apologize
Thanks
to everyone
for sticking
there.
with us.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We do appreciate everyone joining us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, where our video stream lives for you live and free every single day. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of Wilde and Tausch, now your favorite TV show in addition to being your favorite radio show. How about that? Let's check in on this is not definitely not Tausch's favorite Twitter poll that we've ever done. No doubt about that.
Well, you mean just from a content standpoint or because I'm not winning?
Both. I feel like you've enjoyed. What's your favorite poll we've ever done?
I love
Canyon was fun.
Yeah, I always enjoy when I'm surprised. I think we want 50-50, but it's more about I like getting an idea of where the fan base's head's at.
Well, then I think you might be surprised by this because you're advocating on what is by far the losing end.
I feel like people are going to say it's unfair, but I don't think they should think it's unfair.
So our poll question on Twitter at Wilde and Tausch, is it fair or unfair to expect Jordan Love to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFC? Not the NFL. In the NFC. Fair or unfair for Jordan Love to be expected to be a top 5 quarterback after the 2023 season concludes. So not right now going into it, but when this season is done, is it fair to expect Jordan Love to be a top 5 NFC quarterback? Tausch says yes. I voted no. Unfair getting 72% of the vote. 72% of Packers fans. We assume most people following this account are Packers fans. 72% say it is unfair to expect Jordan Love to be a top 5 NFC quarterback.
So if you're the 5th quarterback in the NFC, that means you're middle of the pack to below because there's probably 10 or 11 AFC quarterbacks that I'd put in that same boat outside of Jalen Hurts. So you're basically, all I'm asking is for Jordan Love to be average, which is 15, 16, 17 in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
5th in the NFC. And Packer fans think that's unfair?
72% of them do.
Guys, gals, he's going into his 4th year. Same system. He's learned from a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's started games in the NFL. He's gotten reps. Why are we acting like oh, he can stink and we'll be okay with it. I have a hard time getting my head wrapped around that. Again, now if your argument is, well, like Schneidman, well, he could be 7th or 8th. Okay, but if you're 11th or 12th, you're not very good in the NFC. You're moving on.
He used the name Desmond Ridder, and that would be
if he's Desmond
worst-case
Ridder,
scenario.
I think we're nervous that he's going to be Daniel Jones. That's what we're nervous about as Packer fans when you're in limbo stage.
I think that's a fairly high bar, though, for being so unproven. Like, Daniel Jones won a playoff game last year. They feel good about him with Saquon Barkley as a featured running back in New York. You guys are railing on Daniel Jones all the time.
They felt so good that they didn't even offer him a 5th-year extension.
Well, right, because he also, like Jordan Love, hadn't really proven that he could do it. So they paid him what he was worth at the time, I think, and I think they're in a comfortable position right now.
I think that we are being very cautious with our optimism on Jordan Love. And I don't know why. I don't remember. Again, I don't know what if had we pulled this in the summer of 2008 when Aaron Rodgers was taking over, if we felt like he was going to be a middle of the pack quarterback, is that fair? I guarantee you. Now, he played in the Dallas game. He didn't have any more reps than Jordan Love had in game situations, and people would not have said, "Oh yeah, if he's 20th in the league, that's fine." It just would not have happened. The expectations would have been higher. It seems like here it's kind of like, I don't know. It feels like we do not have the same standards of excellence that we're hoping for. And maybe it's just because, and you know what? Maybe people are saying it's not fair. Okay. I disagree completely.
So take a look at some of the comments here on Twitter at Wilde and Tausch. Jesse and Tausch today, by the way, on ESPN Wisconsin. Jason on assignment. Some fun Twitter handles here. G. Matting. It's unfair to expect Jordan Love will be, but it's completely fair to say Goody failed at his job if Love isn't a top 5 quarterback in the NFC. What do we make of that?
Well, obviously, there's times when people will say, this guy was a bust. Well, you know what? You can look at it and say, was he a bust or was he just drafted too high? Those are questions that
fair question. Yeah.
The players push to be drafted high. They want high expectations. I've never met an NFL player that is saying, you know what, your criticism of me is unfair because I'm just not very good. I've never heard that. You could say that's not fair criticism because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's fair. But in this regard, Jordan Love was the 26th pick in the NFL draft. He has sat for 3 football seasons. He has played. He has Matt LaFleur as his football coach, and I'm not asking him to be star-spangled awesome. I want him to just be good. That's what this poll is. And if we don't think he can be good, what are we doing?
Well, I think he can be good and not be a top 5 quarterback in the NFC. Like, they're not that bad.
Is Geno Smith considered a really good quarterback in the NFL? He's not.
Right now he is.
He's considered to be good.
Up until last year,
Geno Smith was 10 years in the league, and he was not very good. Okay?
Agreed.
So if you want to say it takes that long to grow into it, Seattle is basically giving him another 1-year extension.
Which is fair.
They're not banking on him being great.
I don't think he will be.
That's my point.
Got a Twitter comment here from Jesse.
I-E or E?
It's Jesse, so I'm in a battle for best contributions by someone named Jesse on the show today. With the competition in the NFC at the quarterback position, I really don't think it would be crazy to be slightly disappointed if he didn't finish top 5 statistically. So it sounds like that Jesse is Team Tausch, while I'm on the other side of it.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to the fact that I have higher expectations than I think our fans do. And I don't know why you wouldn't want to have high expectations for him. Is it so you don't get your feelings hurt? Or that you don't want to be wrong?
Because he hasn't shown anything so far.
That's not true.
You can't set really any level of expectation for what you've seen.
He's been here 3 years.
And he started one game
and he played,
17 that didn't matter.
And he also has taken reps. He's played in Detroit when you were up at the great game of
Tropical Paradise in January.
He played in Philly against the best team in the NFC.
For a half and threw 10 passes.
Okay. That's something. Aaron Rodgers played 2.5 quarters of football, and everybody had high expectations, and they said, we're going to move on from Brett Favre with him. This was a case we don't even know if they really wanted to move on from Aaron Rodgers. There was miscommunication, or there was cell service, all of the stuff that Schneidman wrote about, or we don't even know if they're going to move on from him. So I understand that there's not all of this data that the Bears have on Justin Fields and everybody else. You've made this decision based on something. And if you did, and he isn't very good, again, this is not a high bar. You're limboing here. This is a 6-foot bar. Just don't fall on your face. I'm not asking you to get in a double splits and slide under the limbo bar. I'm saying walk under, bend your neck a little bit, slide under the limbo bar, and move on to the next year. That's what this is. You guys are acting like I'm saying do a double split and be 3 inches off the ground. No. 6 feet.
You play limbo at that grad party on Saturday night?
No, but I remember the old days with the roller skating rink, and when they bring the limbo stick out, you'd really see who could bend.
When's the last time Old T played limbo?
It's been a while. Old T, ever since the knees went sour, but early, my limbo game was strong.
Oh, really? You're a good limbo player back in the day.
That's how I could play in the NFL. You can bend. Got to have some hip flexibility, be able to move a little bit. All key ingredients to limbo, but if you just think of it from a limbo bar standpoint with Jordan Love, which I think is a good visual for you, you're roller skating, just don't get clipped. Duck your head and move on. That puts you in the top 5 in the NFC. That's it.
That's fair. I don't know how Jason would critique that analogy if he was here, because
it's pretty good.
Typically, I understand you're clearing the bar, but you would want to be above the bar.
I always loved in the limbo. You want to be under the bar.
No, I understand. That's
I'm
why
not asking about doing. I'm not high jumping. I'm limboing. I always loved we had our old rollers, Melody Gardens up in Marshfield, Wisconsin, and it was carpeted walls, kind of like back here. But this is not really carpet. It is soft shag carpet. No, but it's even shaggier. And I think it's still there. And when is one of the things about roller skating and skiing and skating, hard to stop, to learn how to stop. So you want to barrel in, you want it to be soft, carpeted, shag.
Were you dreaming fearlessly up at Melody Gardens?
I'll tell you who's dreaming fearlessly, Badger fans. Fickle keeps throwing that bat signal out. Everybody is excited about what's coming, and American Family Insurance wants you to share in that excitement with a great giveaway. American Family Insurance is offering you a chance, you and a friend, a VIP experience to go to a Badger football or basketball game next season. You get the full red carpet treatment, backstage. You get to go on court or on the sideline pregame. You get a bunch of swag. It is a great one. Go to amfam.com/Badgers. That's amfam.com/Badgers. No purchase is necessary. Dream fearlessly. Insure carefully.
It's a big day. It's a big day today. Not only because Mason Crosby is scheduled to appear 15 minutes from right now, but it is time to play.
I'm nervous he's not going to answer his phone.
Well, that's possible. And then we'll get Woolly with Ryan Wollersheim, our producer today. Ryan Wollersheim has put in some extra time creating Woolly's Sports Weekend Recap for Wilde and Tausch Trivia.
All right.
So we will give we'll get a full rundown of Tausch's assessment of Woolly's trivia questions coming up here in mere moments, but we do need a contestant right now. 844-770-3776 to play Wilde and Tausch Trivia. Ryan Wollersheim's Sports Weekend Recap. Woolly's Weekend Recap. 844-770-3776. Caller number 10, because we've been talking Jordan Love today. Caller number 10, 844-770-3776. Wilde and Tausch Trivia, leading off the week with Woolly's Weekend Recap. Your chance to get in for an ESPN Wisconsin prize pack, and it all leads up to Mason Crosby, scheduled to appear at 11:30. Wilde and Tausch Trivia, coming up next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Start summer off with a car deal fit for you at Metro Ford of Madison. Score 3.9% APR financing for 66 months to qualified credit when leasing the 23 F-150 STX. Also receive a Chromebook 4K Smart TV or a $500 Visa gift card with any vehicle purchased at Metro Ford of Madison.
Brunch is back at all the Madison area Great Dane pubs. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Enjoy a robust brunch menu, ranging from the classic Daner's breakfast to the Playa burrito, and everything sweet and savory in between. And featuring specialty mimosas, cocktails, and mocktails, it's everything you'd expect from brunch at the Great Dane. Check it out on Saturdays and Sundays at your favorite spot, downtown, Hilldale, Pittsburgh, or East Madison. For more information, head to greatdanepub.com/brunch. Pick your pub and let's do brunch.
At Starion Bank, they pride themselves on being a super community bank. Small enough to show they care about you and the communities they serve, while being large enough to make big things happen. With 3 Madison area branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona, Starion Bank is here investing in your community while offering valuable personal and business banking services. Start your experience with Starion Bank today by going to starionbank.com. Member FDIC.
Take the long, strange trip with Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. Weekdays from 4 to 6.
Ben Broston, are you smarter than Ben Broston? 3, 2, 1. What is the process of a liquid turning into a solid called?
Pass!
Ben, you passed on the question. What is the process of a liquid turning into a solid?
Yeah, I did.
Water's a liquid.
Freezing.
Subscribe to the Scalzo and Brust podcast free on the Wisconsin On Demand app.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
We're on the Packers.
The NFC is mediocre to below mediocre.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
The Packers are not going to be some cellar-dwelling stink pot.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Nice to know my guy will be on my side. I don't believe the hype, and you know you're a terrible sight.
Packers kicker Mason Crosby, longtime kicker Mason Crosby, scheduled to appear about 10 minutes from right now on Wilde and Tausch. We don't know that he's going to answer his phone, but we are going to call him with the hopes that he will join us 10 minutes from right now. Jesse and Tausch today, Jason on assignment. In the meantime, it is time to play Wilde and Tausch Trivia. featuring Ryan Wollersheim's Sports Weekend Recap. Whoa, Wooly. Wooly writes the questions. We welcome in today's contestant, Jeff in Racine. Jeff, welcome to Wilde and Tausch Trivia. How you been, man?
I've been doing good. I got caught in a rainstorm.
Hey, you know what? We needed it.
Is it raining today?
In Racine it is. East side of the state. East side of the
It's
state.
not going to rain here, though?
Maybe a dash, maybe a little sprinkle, but not
Jeff,
quite.
when do you think do we start caring more about weather when we have kids or if we have a dairy farm? What? There is a turn when you start worrying more about the weather, and I think it's kid-related. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy, but I would say for me it's dog-related.
Dog-related?
Sure.
Is your dog better than Charlie Shortino as a forecaster?
All I know is my dog loves the rain, and I don't.
That's strange.
Oh, okay.
Why would a dog love the rain? I thought dogs hate rain.
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's a Bernedoodle. I don't know if that's because of the breed or what.
We're looking at a Bernedoodle potentially down the road.
You better just
over
take
at the
care of your
Nelson
turtles
House.
before you start getting
that's
into
true.
dogs.
All right, Woolie's Sports Weekend Recap. Jeff, depending on how this goes, blame Ryan Wollersheim. He wrote the questions, not me. Tausch, you have question number 1.
All right, Jeff. Which Milwaukee Brewers infielder hit an RBI double in the 10th inning of yesterday's 5-4 win over the Cleveland Guardians, helping the Brewers secure a series win over his former squad? Is it Owen Miller, William Contreras, or Rowdy Tellez?
That would be Owen Miller.
Bam. Boom.
Not the easiest opening question.
Definitely
I've
not.
made,
But last week everybody got the opening question wrong.
That's true.
Not this week.
Jeff sets the tone. Here's question 2, Jeff and Racine. The 2023 NBA free agency period is getting ready to pick up. Former NBA superstar Derrick Rose will become a free agent after which team that he played for last season declined a $15.6 million team option for Rose next season. So which team said no thanks to Derrick Rose, which he played for last year? Was it the Chicago Bulls, the Los Angeles Lakers, or the New York Knicks?
I'm going to say New York Knicks.
He got it.
Damn.
I
Tough.
clearly didn't make this hard enough on Jeff.
Somebody's
Tough
on fire.
second question.
No, these are not the
Wally.
easiest questions.
He's challenging the fans today.
I'm not 100% sure I would have gotten either of those right.
It was a big sports weekend. What can I say?
It was
I tried to come with the best things I could find.
Derrick Rose declined free agent.
I'm not going to lie to you. I thought
Big,
this was a pretty lame sports.
Very lame sport.
Not a ton. College baseball, though.
Well, here we go. Speaking of that, Wooly, the Men's College World Series is split 1-1. I'd be a lot more interested if Wisconsin had a college baseball team.
Well, let's have some conversations.
Which means it's a winner-take-all game tonight for the two SEC. So sick of the SEC. Two SEC teams squaring off in Omaha. Which of these teams is not playing in the Men's College World Series? Is it LSU, Florida, or Georgia?
That would be Georgia.
My man.
Perfect week.
Confident, too. No hezzy at all.
No hezzy, Jeff and Racine. You are 3 for 3 on trivia. That means you get all 4 of
Jeff,
the
is your dog
possible
start
entries.
like barking and rolling around when it's going to start? Like, does the dog know? Because you know when you get older, your bones, you can feel when it's getting colder, you get arthritic. Does the dog know when it's going to rain?
Well, it seems like the dog during rain or any kind of storm or even during the winter is more friskier inside the house than a nice, bright, sunny day.
Okay.
What are you giving Jeff that face
No,
for? Friskier.
I don't know dogs.
Dogs get frisky.
Okay. Fair enough.
I get it entirely, Jeff. Don't
All
let
right,
Tausch
Jeff.
make any faces
Nobody's
at
making any faces.
You
I
100%
I
made
was
a
shocked
face.
that when you hear the word frisky, you think frisky. Okay? I think frisky.
Well,
I mean,
I didn't
right?
mean it that way.
I know you did, Jeff.
More
That's why I pulled.
energetic.
Jeff, that's why I pulled back. I wasn't getting into it. Jesse decided to make it a big deal. I didn't.
He clearly just meant Frisky's pet treats, right? I mean, that's all it is. He was just a little hungry when
He
he
didn't mean Frisky the way Tausch interpreted Frisky.
No.
Jeff,
Wow.
thank you for playing. Congratulations on earning all 4 entries. We'll see how you do in the drawing on Friday. Thanks for playing. Thanks for tuning in, man.
Thanks, guys. Great show.
Thank you, and we hope you stick around for Mason
It's crazy.
Crosby.
It is crazy, though, that dogs have that intuition.
That's going to rain?
Just in general. I think dogs are so smart. I really need to probably continue to evaluate our dog having policy because my older brother got a dog. I think they're starting to love it. You're talking about getting a dog.
You can't drop this bombshell 2 minutes before we're supposed to get to Mason
It's
Crosby.
not a bombshell. I've
This is
said
a
this.
huge
This is
bombshell.
something
You're
I've said.
reevaluating
Jesse,
again.
this is something that I've continued to say, and the fact that I know it would bring as much joy to my kids as it would, even though selfishly I have no interest in having a dog, I need to reevaluate. We can dig into that later.
We'll have
Mason
to.
doesn't answer.
If Mason doesn't answer, plenty of dog conversation with Tausch. But we sure do hope that coming up next, we will hear from longtime Packers kicker Mason Crosby, scheduled to appear on Wilde and Tausch. As we head to break, Jason Wilde pops in to tell us about his friends at Associated Bank. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Somehow Jesse and Tausch are getting through the week without me, but you know I couldn't get through my financial situation without our friends at Associated Bank. And I mean that when I say they're our friends, whether it's my buddy Ryan Taylor or my friend Ben Sorensen. They've always taken great care of me, but that's what they do at Associated Bank. They take great care of everyone. They've got the awards to prove it, the best customer service in the industry. And if you're a sports fan, there's no better place to be. Brewers checking, Badgers checking, Packers checking, whatever season it is, you're going to have your favorite team available to you for your checking account. Right now it's baseball season, and if you're a Brewers fan, you get 10% off the team store. You get that easy access entrance at the Associated Bank gate at AmFam Field, and if you've got a group you want to get together, you can bring them to the Power Alley group space out in the left center field. Check out AssociatedBank.com/Brewers to find out more about checking and all the perks that come with it. Again, that's AssociatedBank.com/Brewers.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here, and our family, we have been looking to make the switch to solar for quite some time now, and we weren't even really sure where to start. And then we met the team over at Everlight Solar, and from the very first conversation, they have kept the process simple while also educating us on the benefits of solar. And man, are we happy we did. Not only are we saving a ton of money, but we're also creating a greener environment for our family and the whole community. Learn more at everlightsolar.com and schedule a no-cost consultation today.
Don't miss your chance to see the legends of golf when they come to Central Wisconsin this summer. Watch your favorite players like Steve Stricker, Ernie Els, Jerry Kelly, Padraig Harrington, and more up close as they battle for the 43rd U.S. Senior Open Championship at Century World in Stevens Point. June 27th through July 2nd. Buy your daily, weekly, or premium tickets now at USSeniorOpen.com. That's USSeniorOpen.com.
Are you dreaming of a new look? Let the pros at 5 Star Painting bring color to your world, to your interior, exterior, cabinets, and more. We make it easy with online scheduling, free on-site estimates, and a dedicated project manager on every job. Uneasy about hiring a contractor? We know, we've been there. 5 Star Painting is customer-focused and quality-driven, exceeding expectations every time. Call or visit 5starpainting.com today. 5 Star Painting, a neighborly company.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Jim Rutledge here to tell you about North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. North and South serves authentic wood-fired barbecue as well as savory seafood for both lunch and dinner. Whether it's North and South in DeForest, Verona, or the west side of Madison, you'll enjoy the best smart casual dining experience in the area. They also have takeout and catering options, so find your way over to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse, the official barbecue place of Rutledge and Hamilton. They're online at eatnorthandsouth.com.
Show me the love.
Jordan Love is in a position where the NFC, it is wide open. He is better than anyone expects. He can be a Pro Bowl quarterback.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Wilde and Tausch, ESPN Wisconsin at Wisconsin On Demand. No Jason Wilde today. He is on assignment leading up to the 4th of July holiday. In his place, I'm Jesse Nelson, usually the producer of this show, sliding over into the host chair along with the Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher. In the summer of 2008, I asked on my birthday list, I was getting ready for my birthday, and I asked my parents either for a Brett Favre New York Jets jersey or a Green Bay Packers Mason Crosby jersey entering his second
you're
season.
Just greasing up to Mason.
Honest to God, this was the case. I got the Favre Jets jersey, and I feel like, looking back, the better long-term investment would have been, for everyone involved, the Green Bay Packers Mason Crosby jersey. And so it is my pleasure now to introduce our guest, longtime Green Bay Packers kicker Mason Crosby, joins us on Wilde and Tausch. Mason, if Jason was here, he would ask you a long-winded question. I will simply say, how's your off-season, man?
Oh, man, well, that was a great introduction. We'll have to get you that jersey if you don't have one already. But, yeah, going well. Just doing a little golfing over the last weekend. I was just out at Bandon Dunes for a charity event. That was pretty fun. So, yeah, and enjoying it.
Yeah, Mace, I appreciate that. I really have wanted to go out to Bandon Dunes for a while, and when I was talking with Mason last week,
you didn't
he told
get my
me
invite?
I did not. Did you miss
no.
that? I know you knew it was my birthday, so I just assumed that there was like a miscommunication. How sweet was Bandon Dunes?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, I went a couple of years ago with like just kind of last minute thing, and then I'm like, I'll probably never go back, or maybe every 5-10 years, find a way to get back out there. And this event, it's a Pac-12 event. Kind of try to represent.
Colorado's still in the Pac-12? I thought they left.
As of right now,
okay.
everything's changing.
Fair enough.
Other teams are leaving.
Yes.
But who knows? Wisconsin might go to the Pac-12 at some point.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so, Mace. You know that's not right.
Oh man, that was. But yeah, it's been great. So I've been now the last 3 years. I've gone out to Bandon Dunes. It's not easy to get to, but it's pretty epic when you're out there.
Hey, Mason, so I saw your wonderful wife, who we love. She is putting out travel blogs, and she's working with, I think, the Green Bay Tour. We don't know what's going to happen with you, and we'll ask you a little bit about that, but is right now, since you're unsigned, are you like her assistant editor, or what exactly is your role within this travel blog?
It kind of feels that way, yeah. I mean, she's putting that work in. She's throwing some content out there. It's something that she's always had a passion for, and kind of just does even if it's just for herself, and as she journals and does notes, and Molly is so detailed. She to be able to manage 5 kids and then write these really elegant displays and critiques, or basically just informative writings for the city of Green Bay and De Pere and Kohler, and I mean she's hitting everything, Door County. So it's something that she's passionate about, and something that she definitely wants to dive into deeper. And our love for Green Bay runs deep. It's been home to us for such a long time that it's kind of a nice way to just talk about our time there and all the wonderful, amazing things that we've been fortunate enough to be a part of through these last 16 years.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a little bit of a firestorm because, I think you're a free agent, and then Molly just puts out because Simone Biles.
About the tweet? Are we talking about the tweet?
We are going to talk because I thought it was, knowing you guys, I thought Molly was just being nice. Like, she was just saying, I don't think she was trying to break news, but when she put that out there, and Wilde was suspect to this. Everybody.
There was no news to be broken. It's like, it is what it is. I'm not signed. I'm floating around as a free agent. Like, it definitely blew up. I think it might have been her first tweet in 5 years, like as far as actual.
We could use her. We could use her on our force, getting some viral tweets going.
Seriously, I mean, if you want some action, just have Molly, write you up something to put out there.
Mace, when that happened, and you are a free agent, you're going to continue to try and kick, and Lord knows where you're going to end up. But when that played out, what's the conversation like when you get home? And Molly's like, I don't know what the heck just happened, but this thing, because that was like Adam Schefter-esque, I think is how the NFL media took it. What was the conversation when you guys sat down and had a glass of wine?
Well, yeah, I texted her because I started getting texts from, from people just like, why, so you're not coming back, like all these things. And I'm just like, well, I mean, I don't know where this is coming from. And then I start kind of, digging a little deeper, and I see how she did it. I mean, it was like the perfect tweet where it was tagged it was in response to the Packers, Simone Biles, like how she put it out there. It just went into the world, pretty deep. So whatever she did there, it sparked something in her to start this whole process of getting back into the real world. The kids are getting a little older, and I think it was like, hey, there's a little energy there. Let's see where this takes us. But it was a funny couple days. I was like, let's just I was encouraging her to lean into it, and Molly, how she's just like, there was no intention in that. There's nothing, so tried to pull back a little bit from it, but it was a pretty funny moment in this off season for sure.
Yeah. So can you kind of just give us a little bit of a rundown as far as where you're at now, what your plans are, and how things, I don't know if they're finished in Green Bay. Molly tweeted that they are, so they must be, but can you kind of just give us a quick synopsis of where we're at?
Well, yeah, obviously, Packers, drafted Andrews there in the 6th round, and they're taking a look at him, seeing what's going on. They've been open in the media, at least, that doors never closed on a guy like myself. But as of right now, I'm training. I'm preparing for training camp and for a season, as if I did any other year. So what's been nice is it is kind of more like the pandemic years, 2020, 2021, where I was able to recover and kind of do some different things to get myself ready for kind of a long season and the amount of kicking I have to do, and kind of the longevity that the season is, like how long it is. So for me, it's starting a little bit later with my kicking process, and building it through the summer instead of usually if I start kicking in April when off-season program starts, like usually this right now I'd be in like a break. It's like I just got to almost like give myself just a week or so, 10 days, and then reset moving into training camp. And where I am right now, I'm just trying to build this thing up right into training camp, so I'll be ready to roll when someone gives me a shout.
Longtime Packers kicker Mason Crosby joining us on Wilde and Tausch. Jesse and Tausch today with Jason on assignment. Mason, what does the ideal timeline look like for you this summer, this off-season leading into training camp, if you are to get that call from a team saying that they want you in and they want you to be their kicker this season?
I think just the right situation. If something, starts happening here before training camp with any teams that are looking to bring in a veteran guy to help there. I think the right situation, I would definitely jump on that. But for me, it's just I know how this thing works. I've seen it so many times. It might run into training camp. It could bump up right towards the season. Teams are evaluating who they have in the building, what they might have there. I've done it for a long time. I'm a known entity. Teams would probably just want to see that I'm still ready to go and still have a little bit left in me. And I really feel like coming off of last year with my knee injury in the summer and like kind of pushing to get back and fighting through some of that throughout the whole season, to be able to do what I did, I felt like I worked really hard and pushed myself, harder than I probably had in a few years, just to grind through it. So that, kind of gave me some more juice to just keep this thing going and work hard this off season so that I can be stronger and better, for the foreseeable future, however many more years that is for me.
Did you have any idea, I was in the stands at that final game against Detroit, and we had an idea when Aaron walked off it may have been his final game in Green Bay. Did you have any idea walking off the field that night that may have been your final game in a Green Bay Packers uniform?
I wasn't thinking about that. I'm always optimistic. I mean, it's been unreal, that this is the first time in 16 years that I've been a free agent. So been so fortunate and, really thankful that through all these years I've been able to get a deal done with the Packers before I ever even tested the market. So it's a little bit unknown, and I think it's like my normal process is you evaluate the season and then hope to have those conversations before free agency. And unfortunately this year that just didn't happen. So it was probably for me a little bit later of a feeling of like, man, this could be the end, and might have played my last game there in Green Bay, which for me it's until it's all over, it's like I'm not going to really, try to get the emotion and feel like all the feels with it. But it is surreal, and it is, I'm just so thankful for my time there. And I feel like I've been that way even when I was playing there, just trying to be thankful, grateful for the opportunity and go out there and compete on a daily basis. Love being around my teammates. And, that's the kind of stuff that I think everyone misses whenever this is all said and done.
Yeah, Mace, was there any conversations with Goody, with your representatives throughout this whole process, or has it just been pretty much quiet?
We talked, kind of right before free agency, and, Goody was pretty honest with kind of where, the organization was, and, kind of at that moment too, pretty tight with, cap space, trying to figure everything out with Aaron and all the stuff. So, he was pretty upfront with me that, it would be later if ever. So we never really got into any real discussions about a possible return, at this point.
Gotcha. Are you a little bit irritated with Aaron Rodgers that he didn't bring you in as Randall Cobb is out there and Lazard? What about old Mace? Can't we bring old Mace up to New York?
Well, they re-signed Zerline, kind of early before free agency, and then I don't know if Aaron, kind of how the process went, but again, never count anything out in this game. Weird stuff happens every year, and you never know. You never know what's going to happen.
That is true. So just to put a bow on it, you are healthy, you're refreshed, and you want to continue to kick as long as there's an opportunity that makes sense for you and the family. Is that a fair assessment?
That is, yeah. I just, I'm getting myself ready for training camp, and feeling good. Excited for what this next opportunity holds, and we'll see what happens.
All right, Mace. Wildy feels jealous that he's not here, so he texted us a question. He's going to want to double dip, and I have to ask. This is coming from him, and I quote: "Do you feel like after everything you did?" and parentheses, all-time leading scorer and great Packer, and off the field, you're heavily involved in the community, which is very true, that you deserve to leave the Packers on your own terms?
Oh, man.
That's a great question, by
Jay.
Great question. That's why he's the 3-time Sports Writer of the Year, Mace. You know that.
Well, those are tough ones. I mean, I think every athlete would love to, leave the game and have that option. It's not always that way. Do I wish that I could just dictate and make all the rules and do all that? I think all of us would love to have those options. Mm-hmm. But for me, I try not to be a person full of pride and a person that just looks at things of like, what can I get and how does this affect me all the time? So I see the business for what it is, and I'm very fortunate for my time there, but would I love to be able to just say, I want to play 2 more years in Green Bay and like have that time frame? I think that's what every athlete would, dream to have as an opportunity, but I just don't think that's the reality. So for me, it's also an unknown. I'm kind of in a year to year, like I want to push this thing as far as I can, as far as I feel good and do all that. So I've been asking myself that question a lot this offseason of how much longer? And, I really can't put like a definitive answer on it. And I think a lot of it's going to be feel and, different things. And a lot of it's going to be dictated by my family too, where my kids are and what their needs are, here in the next few years. So
is it kind of exciting to be, out there?
It is, and I've been enjoying just having a little bit, having the time with the kids and with the family, and being able to really lean into their stuff and work on my things without being evaluated every moment of every day. So I can really dial in on what I need to do and take care of all those things. So there is some benefit in this, and being a 16-year vet. Definitely I'm never done working on myself and on, being a better dad, being a better husband, being a better football player. And those things I hope will never change regardless if I'm playing or, whenever I'm retired. So.
All right. Well, if this is the end in Green Bay, and it's still not for sure, but if it is, as a travel blog editor's assistant to Molly, take us through the day that the Crosbys would want to have as their going away day in Green Bay.
The day
you guys are you're leaving the next day. You're celebrating. You're celebrating Green Bay, and then you're getting in the big van, heading to wherever you're going.
Riding off into the sunset.
What are you doing that day with you, Molly, and the crew?
Oh man,
where's breakfast? Options, give us the whole day.
Well, we're going to be, probably going to be tough for the breakfast because we got a few spots, but probably have to go and relive kind of earlier days and maybe get a little something from Pancake Place over there.
Yep.
Maybe go get something downtown from Creamery. Get a coffee or something like that. We enjoyed, there's so many amazing, parks and things like that around. So we'd probably go up to, Barkhausen up there in Schwamico and walk around and see some of the animals, take the dogs, let them swim. If on our way out, we'd go down through Kohler. And,
get around.
Maybe Molly would let me play a few holes there at Whistling Straits. So we take the kids. I think the kids had golf lessons today, so trying to get those girls into it. But and then it's tough, and it's relationships. It'd be too hard to do it in one day. Honestly, I don't think we're ever leaving Green Bay and just never coming. Obviously, we'll always be a part of that community, and it'll always be somewhere we come back to and you know, are heavily involved in, because we have a ton of friends, people that we've lived life with, you know, for all these years. So, yeah, it's never going to be a, you know, turn around, drive away, and you know, wipe our hands, you know, clean of it all. It's a place that's embraced us, and we've embraced for all this time, and it's always going to be special, and a place that has a piece of our hearts.
Well, you're one of the all-time great Green Bay Packers, the all-time leading scorer, a wonderful ambassador for everything that you've done up there. And I see Jesse, you know, he should have gotten that jersey back in 2008, the Mason Crosby. He is now looking at a Dallas Cowboys Mason Crosby jersey on his website with Mike McCarthy down there. Uh-oh, you're a Dallas guy. Tell me that doesn't make a little sense, Mace.
I don't know. It you know, it is intriguing for sure.
Okay. Mason,
so he's already looking at jerseys.
Yeah, well, now that you joined us and you were just going, so Jesse falls in love quick, Mason. You're now part of his stable.
Never too late to make up for that mistake from so many years ago.
I know. Once he made the mistake, he never circled back, and I'm not sure about that.
I'm with you.
Mason, I'm not sure most Packers fans would want me speaking for them, but I will when I say thank you for everything that you've done for the Green Bay Packers organization and for the community in and around the state of Wisconsin for so many years. It's been awesome to see you and just have you as part of the team, and best of luck and best wishes for whatever comes next for you in your career.
Awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Yeah, it means the world to me.
Mason Crosby, longtime Packers kicker, joining us on Wilde and Tausch. Tausch, we did such a great job managing the clock all day today until that, but totally worth it.
Yeah, Wilde text too and added that layered question.
Yeah, let's blame Wilde for
We'll
it.
blame Wilde still, even though he's not here.
We'll do a quick recap of our conversation with Mason Crosby. Plenty more to come throughout the day and tomorrow as well, but we'll do a quick recap to close up the show next on Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you at greatdanepub.com. The University of Wisconsin-Platteville has announced that the Wisconsin football team will hold their first week of training camp on the UW-Platteville campus in preparation for the team's opener on September 2nd under the new regime led by head coach Luke Fickell. The Badgers will be in Platteville from August 1st through August 8th for team bonding activities, closed practices, and meetings. Platteville is the home to some of the most premier facilities in all of NCAA Division III and used to be the training camp home for the Chicago Bears from 1984 to 2002.
Pella's window and door design options are virtually limitless. Customize your order by August 31st and you could bundle and save big at PellaWI.com.
Celebrate the opening of the McKenzie Regional Workforce Center, benefiting the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County. The annual White Attire Party is back on Saturday, July 15th at the brand new McKenzie Center in Fitchburg, the largest youth-skilled trade center in southern Wisconsin. Enjoy a full evening of entertainment, dancing, food and drinks, plus tours of the center. Tickets will go fast, so don't wait. Visit bgcdc.org/WP. That's the White Party, July 15th, benefiting the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County.
Brunch is back at all the Madison area Great Dane pubs. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Enjoy a robust brunch menu, ranging from the classic Daner's breakfast to the Playa burrito, and everything sweet and savory in between. And featuring specialty mimosas, cocktails, and mocktails, it's everything you'd expect from brunch at the Great Dane. Check it out on Saturdays and Sundays at your favorite spot, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. For more information, head to greatdanepub.com/brunch. Pick your pub and let's do brunch.
Mike Greenberg.
If you and I meet as adults, I shouldn't know when your birthday is, and you shouldn't know mine. Hahn was in here yesterday. Alan Hahn, it was his birthday. You know who didn't tell me that? Alan Hahn. Cam just said to me as we're coming out of break, give Bubba a birthday shout. Let's get that out there. Why? Like we talk about these things like we're still 9. Am I wrong? Who here thinks I'm wrong?
Greeny, weekdays noon to 2 on 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Major League Baseball on ESPN Radio.
A walk-off homer in the bottom of the 14th inning. What a night.
From opening day.
Hammer to left field. See you later. Mike Trout, how's that to start the season?
Until a champion is crowned at the World Series.
The Houston Astros have won the World Series.
Major League Baseball is on ESPN Radio.
Like, share, and follow ESPN Madison everywhere. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more great content from ESPN Madison. This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Special thanks again to Mason Crosby, longtime Packers kicker, joining us on Wilde and Tausch. Jesse and Tausch today with Jason Wilde on assignment. Tausch, we're already out of time, so...
Yeah, way to go. Great clock
Sorry,
management.
Greeny, we'll get to you in a minute if you're working today. What's one big thing that stood out to you from the Mason Crosby conversation
I think
before
Mason
we go?
knew that after the season when they had that discussion, it was going to be time, and it's still open. And I think the fact that when you're a veteran kicker, there's always opportunities. Things happen. Guys start getting a little yippy. There's injuries. And Mason Crosby's going to be kicking next year. Don't think it's going to be in Green Bay.
We will talk plenty more about it tomorrow. You can also stay tuned to ESPN Wisconsin all day today, where I'm sure reaction will ensue throughout the course of the day. Thanks to Mason Crosby. Thanks to Matt Schneidman for joining us as well. Tausch and I will be back tomorrow. As Jason would say, have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch? Presented by Pella Windows and Doors.